Thank you, gentlemen and dimes. Coming.
This week's guest, friend, comedian, and star of the hit show Enjoy It on Comedy Central Sunday nights at midnight, Brody Stevens. And please, go to BertCast.com, pre-order my book, Life of the Party, and get a Murdered Out Machine shirt.
This is the Bertcast.
Now what? Now this one, it's just talking. You're just it's just conversation.
It's just talking and conversation.
Okay, good.
Let's see. Are we recording? Yep. We're recording.
So I'll just let you know where I am. Me personally.
You want me to hit pause?
Yeah.
Okay. I fucking love you.
Okay.
I wish I had recorded that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're such a fucking fascinating person, Brody. When I met you. Do you know what? You probably don't remember when I met you.
I do.
Do you really?
I remember what city and probably what. I would say if you remember specifically.
Yes.
I would say the year would probably be. I moved to New York in '97. I'm going to say '98, probably
98, and I think it was either Collective Unconscious or Surf Reality.
Right. I would say one of those two.
I remember you had a joke. I want to say the movie 10 Things I Hate About Me was out, and you had a joke. 10 Things I Hate About Me. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember you talking about me talking about some bit where I just made fun of myself. That like I beat him to it, kind of. 10 Things I Hate About. But I did like 80 things about I didn't like.
I forget the premise. All I remember is I have hair on my cock.
I said
not just on the base, halfway up the shaft.
You got it. Shaving the tip. I mean, that's true. Is that weird?
No, not at all. I used to have a bit. That whole scene was not. I wasn't very comfortable in it. It's so funny because I think me and you were came out of the same culture and into comedy.
Right. You went to Florida State.
Yeah, like
I went to Arizona State.
Went to big state schools.
And just to clear up on the Bertcast here. Hi, everybody. I'm Brody Stevens. We're talking about like the Lower East Side, or the beginning, not the beginnings, but maybe the second trimester of the birth of alternative comedy, if that makes sense. Like there was already the roots were already there. With
that's
Mark
a really
Maron,
great
Rebar
analogy.
Yeah,
the second trimester of the birth of alternative comedy. That's
I would say Surf Reality and that lounge. I would say that Luna Lounge was kind of like the major leagues for that alternative scene back in the day, the Lower East Side, where we were performing, and Surf Reality and Collective Unconscious, which were the open mics, were kind of like the feeder. If you wanted to do Luna Lounge,
Luna Lounge was like I never got there. That's okay. I started barking at the Boston Comedy Club shortly thereafter,
and I barked also
over at Comedy
Cellar.
Yeah, that's so crazy. But it's so interesting because I saw you doing well in those rooms, and it was so. I would have jokes that just wouldn't work there.
Yeah,
but I saw you doing material that was very kind of thematically the same as me. You weren't doing anything different. You weren't trying, but it was working. Does that make sense? You weren't trying, and you were doing well. You weren't trying.
You know what I was working on back then? I think it was like being myself. So I think I wasn't like trying to be a stand-up there. I knew that they weren't into stand-up comedy. They hated stand-up comedians like Faceboy, who ran Sunday Show, and Reverend Jen on Wednesday night, the anti-slam at Collective Unconscious, because comedy was all about, slamming people. There's a victim. So they were all about. I know you're laughing, Bert.
I never knew.
But remember that?
I never knew that's what that stood for.
I mean, that's what I think.
Yes, I always thought it was like as opposed to slam poetry.
Oh, well, maybe it was. Okay, well, that's kind of the same thing then, because that was getting big too. The New Ricans Poetry Society, which was I'm educating the world on comedy, and that scene back in 94, 95, and there was poetry, actually, and I think Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine used to hang over there around that time. Anyway, but Yeah, we were in that alternative. It was very positive. In Face Boy, no heckling, no attacking the audience, and vice versa. It was very.
Sure I attacked the audience.
I think he said that, right?
Yeah. I'm sure I went after them a couple times when I was doing poorly.
But you were never.
I sucked. I sucked back then.
Well,
I did. I was trying to be someone I wasn't. Which is so interesting because so me and you texted about doing the podcast, and I've been a friend of yours for a long time. I would say like a friend, like never like hang out too much, but come over to the house or say hi. But like I've been obsessed. I was obsessed with Enjoy It, the first run on HBO Go.
Oh, we're going right into that.
I love it.
I was having a great time in New York City back in. Did I say 94, 96? But go ahead. I'm going to let you. This is the Bertcast. I'm following you.
And so I saw that, and the only time I've ever dealt with depression was 90 that time during then. That when I was going through doing stand-up then, because I wasn't working. I was not funny. I was bombing, and I was working at Barnes & Noble. I had a name tag job.
Astor Place?
Yeah, Astor Place, yeah. No air conditioning. And fucking worst job in the world. But I'm watching last night. I'm watching the newest episode.
Oh, you're researching it. I like that.
No, I watch it because I like it. That's the truth. I like it because it is so putting everything on the fucking table. Like you literally have not. You're not hiding anything.
Well, I went for it.
Yeah, and it's so. I'm watching it last night, and you're talking about depression, and I'm like, dude, I've been there. I don't even like talking about it.
Well, that was real.
Yeah.
I mean, it was brutal.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it on the bike ride over here. I rode my bicycle. It was getting coffee. And I go, I have no reason really to be depressed. And I've had two forms of like depression. Most recently, I think my depression was just a lot of stuff. When you go up, you come down. So my last depression, I feel, was a result, and I covered in the show and other podcasts.
It was the medicine.
I think the medicine
I
really
saw you.
zombied me out, and it had to be done. I'm not blaming anybody for putting me on what I was put on. That's protocol. You had to. It was like a safety net. Like this guy, I'm not saying it was a chemical straitjacket, but it was almost like
it was. I heard you say that in the show last night, and it was a great. It was
that's
really
a term
because I ran into you at the right. I think I just started watching the. Well, first round.
I saw you maybe close to a year ago, probably.
Yeah. And I was like, I was so excited for you because all this, and you just were vacant.
Oh, it was bad.
And
yeah, I guess it had to be done. I was depressed due to that. It was brutal, and it just piled on. And living in that Hollywood apartment, and I was living right where we're doing the. I used to live right down the street. Now I live back down the street again. So
you back in the valley now?
Back in the valley, and so that was bad. That was real depression. I think brought on by a whole number of things, and I didn't fake it. It was real.
Yeah.
I did go manic. I did go off my meds, and there was something there that came out that was there. I'm not saying
what's mania feel like.
Great. No, I'm kidding.
Because
I was happy. I got it. I mean, I could go manic now, probably. Still, I was just again thinking on the bicycle ride over. I got to watch it because look. Good things are happening right now. You're getting me at a point where I'm still under anxiety.
You seem really good. You as opposed to can't wait for Leanne to talk to Leanne after this because you came over right before I think your bad spell. Over to my house. Do you remember you came over? I was having a barbecue, and you came over and you could tell something was going on.
Okay.
Do you remember that a long time ago?
Vaguely.
You came over. I forget what was going on. But
I was wired a little bit.
You could so you were off.
Yeah.
And Leanne said that's
really?
Just from seeing you do stand up. She goes, that's so not. He didn't seem right. And then you went. I think you fell apart or I think you went to Montreal or whatever, and then Leanne went, wow, I saw that coming. I'm dying to see her interpretation of you coming in, because you came in super, like, I was like, woo, like.
Well, no, it's a balancing act right now. I mean, for me and for others, and I gotta, like, it's like, oh, do I get too up? Do I get too down? Not too down, but do I get too up? Do I stay on this med? Do I try to go natural? And now there's different pressures on me. Maybe pressure. I actually feel this should make things easier for me.
Yeah.
I can, like, actually, but I'm not there yet, Bert. I'm not there yet, and maybe I'll never be there. But what's gotten me to this? My instincts tell me that once the next I'm not even talking about my half-hour special. I don't even care about that. That's whatever. People do hours and have done hours every year. I'm talking about a half hour. Okay, but
I'd rather do a half hour than an hour right now.
Less is more.
It's a better way to represent yourself, I think. It's a bite size for the consumer.
Yeah.
In the sense that they get a sense of what you do. They go see you do an hour, and you haven't blown through all your material, and you don't have to turn over everything.
Look, I lucked out. I'm lucky right now, and I know, but I also have to be like, you know what? Every podcast I've been doing recently, quote unquote, promoting the show. It's hard to promote something that you're not even sure about. You don't know. That's part of who I'm not looking at you. I'm my whole new thing is just focusing off into another world. I'm in the middle of something. People don't. This is not. I'm not saying, oh, I'm getting adjusted to fame, and this is a new world. I'm still thinking, because I am laying it out there. It's an introduction. It's like, look, if you can handle this, that's as extreme as I'll go.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can go funnier eventually, or maybe even whatever. Well, but in terms of intensity, that's as far as, if you can handle that, I would feel better. Like, you've seen it all.
Can I tell you my assessment is comedy.
Yes, doctor.
Not of you, but of what your show is and the way it relates to audiences. Podcasts are an extension of stand-up. Podcasts have, I think, evolved the conversation a comic has with his audience. I go to shows now and people go, tell the story about Isla and the tree. It's a story I just told on a podcast. Or tell about Isla taking whatever Isla story or Georgia story that you just tell on a podcast, or they want to hear the story about the podcast. Podcasts are very vulnerable. I'm not trying to be funny right now. I'm just trying to be fun, have a good time, listen, talk, and be interesting. Your show is that. It is the next generation, the next, it's not a reality show. It's more like a documentary. And it's not shot like thematically, although there are scenes of you and Zach on the pitcher's mound, but those play so fucking funny. Like when like that is not a sketch. It is a kind of a display of your personality. Mm-hmm. That scene, the scene I'm talking about?
Yeah. Thank you, first of all. And forgive me if I want some. I mean, sometimes I get off track. I agreed with. Okay, we'll talk about podcasting, for example.
The podcast you had with Johnny
Spanish.
Johnny Spanish.
The first one.
The very first one was so fucking awesome. If
now you know Johnny.
I do not.
Well, I thought you guys never crossed paths in New York.
Never. Maybe I did.
I'm sure you did, because he did surf in Collective all the time during our time. So,
maybe I did.
Okay.
But
I'm going to say yes.
I just listened to that podcast one time, and it was so fun. And I couldn't tell if you were trying it all or if you were going through, but it was so fun because you were micromanaging everything, and I could not stop fucking laughing.
Again, thank you. That podcast caused me. It was very. What's the word? What, divisive? Dervisive? There's like people like you who loved it. and then there's people who hate it. It's either you love or you hate. That podcast was
so fucking funny.
Yeah, I've seen it. I analyzed it.
I bet you did.
Because Bert, it caused havoc.
It was so fucking good. It was so good. I think, didn't you guys stop living together after that?
Yeah, he moved. He moved back to Philadelphia. Spanish. I mean, it was
so good.
It was crazy. I was in that. I was going there. You could that. I mean, if you look at that, you know, it's like when you say you're I guess I am.
Yeah.
You know, you can create some crazy. No pun intended. Some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You just allow your mind to like go.
Yeah.
Within the parameters of, you know, not breaking things. I'm not, you know, abusing the format. That particular show.
Can people still find it online?
I may have had Red Band take it down.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'll tell you, okay, we'll talk about that podcast specifically first. I had a sip of my...
By the way, this is early podcasting.
I think so.
4 years ago?
Okay,
3 years
this
ago?
is Bryan Red Band. I'm sure everyone here knows Red Band. Death Squad for life. # yes. Okay, so Bryan was working with Joe Rogan. They were, you know, Joe Rogan was everything was on his website. Bryan was that guy filming everything, and then Bryan started doing his own, like the Birth of Death Squad.
Yeah.
Birth of Alternative Comedy, Birth of Death Squad. And I'm hearing a horn honk, but that's okay. Stay focused. So Bryan was actually, this is before the Ice House. He was doing shows out of his house in Burbank. So it was kind of like every afternoon he started doing them, I guess, like when he wasn't working with Joe or on the road. And they were video podcast. I guess they would go up to Ustream. So he would put them up live, and then they would be archived, and then later on he would do the
dump
podcast.
them. Yeah, he would. Yeah.
And this was in the very, you know, it wasn't the Ice House. It was like on his couch in his bedroom, that kind of thing. And it's funny you think about it, because I guess it was early on in this whole deal.
It was the very beginning of everyone's of people starting to do podcasts.
Yeah.
And I remember Bryan texted me and he's like, "You got to listen to the one with Brody."
Well,
he goes, "I think you're gonna love it."
So I was doing I started doing them, and at that point, I was not doing podcasts for, you know, to feel better or to. I was just doing them to do them. Jump in. Jump in. I wasn't doing it for any other reason than, hey, it's stage time. Give it to me. Yeah, let's do it. It's fun. And so first couple ones, I think I had Tony Hinchcliffe, I had Benji, I had Esther. You know, we would sit there and just talk. And I think I had Benji and Tony. Oh, we did like 3. And then I had one, I said, okay, then. And then I had another one, and I just had my friend Spanish, my roommate, Johnny Spanish, on. And he is a actor, comedian. He was and still is, always will be. And we were roommates right down the street. And we would constantly, in the apartment, have fun, laugh for the first. We were roommates at this particular apartment 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay? Pretty close to 4, if not 4. I would say the first 2.5, maybe 3 years were good. It was fun, helpful, good energy, and I was trying to guide Johnny. Like, you know, my whole advice to, you know, even young comedians or people who want to get into it, you have to do it. You have to get on stage. It's about stage time. It's about stage time and jokes. Your personality, it will come out later. You're too nervous. You're going to be too nervous the first 6 months or whatever to really be comfortable and have your personality shine. So you might as well, you got to cut through it so you get your stage time. And along the way, write jokes. And of course, listen, watch, all that stuff. Okay, so we had always had stories like Spanish. We would talk and laugh. I said we should do that. It's funny, Spanish and Stevens. We'll do that. It was like I was doing warm up at Best Damn Sports Show or Chelsea. I was working constantly at that. Not constantly. I don't want to sound like that. I was working at a consistent gig.
Yeah.
And Johnny wasn't. I feel, and he would feel, wasn't. I wanted to include him in stuff somehow. And this is a perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. And he was game for it. I was game for it. Now, I'm performing all the time. I'm at the Comedy Store with Don Barris. It's late night. I've already done a few podcasts. This is just, that up to that point. And so I have an idea what I want to do. Maybe we prepped on it. And it was like, okay, it's on camera, live. It's archived. And then it's the podcast. So again, this is like my third one. And I just go for it. Playing to the cameras. Just being Brody. Not holding back. Yeah. Not being a jerk, but allowing myself to be that guy. And I don't know if it was just Spanish or if it was somebody else as well. But I was just like, talk about the Beatles, and he was like, at that point, we were arguing the last year. I mean, we were arguing in the car ride over. I was just nitpicking everything.
It was a clear display of nitpicking.
Yes, exactly. I just allowed it to go, and Spanish kept feeding into it. I couldn't tell if he was really upset or not. I couldn't tell. Nobody could tell anything. Red Band didn't know. Spanish didn't know. I didn't know if Spanish was upset or Red Band was. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. I didn't get mad. I wasn't stressed out. I was just yelling, having a good time.
It was so. I would listen to it on an elliptical machine, and I could not stop laughing.
But you know me, and you're a comedian.
But that's the weird thing about you. You're. I would say, one of the most beloved comics working by other comics.
I've heard that. I accept that.
I'll tell you why.
I'm not sure why.
I'll tell you why.
I know why. I don't feel that, but I accept it. Go ahead.
When your show premiered, the people that retweeted enjoy it on Comedy Central Sunday nights at midnight or 11.
Oh, they didn't do a good job, I guess. Midnight. Well, you know what? It actually airs earlier sometimes.
It airs at 9:00 on the West Coast.
I just say midnights.
The people that retweeted,
it was nice, right?
I was blown away. I mean, I saw your tweet, and then I put together my own tweet to tweet about your show.
Did you? You did too.
Of course. And I just, the list of people, I was like, holy shit.
I've heard that from a couple people come up to me and go, you had so many people, promoting your show. I guess I have to look at it, but I saw Amy Schumer, for example, and then I don't want to say, I just felt like this is how my brain works. I felt like, Comedy Central probably made them do it.
No.
Because they had some, I know, that's how I probably just lost a friendship. I think Amy Schumer is upset with me. No, but that's how my mind works sometimes. And yeah, but that felt good. That felt good. The podcast, it was crazy. It's like, me. So I can kind of get away with that. I'm not saying I can get away with that now. The thing about I'll be technical about a podcast. I always ask, is this live? Is this, it's like, are you, because as a performer, you'll play to a camera. So you have to be aware that, it's a podcast too. Somebody's going to be listening at home with their headphones in a cubicle and you're screaming at somebody.
Yeah.
If they don't know you, they're not going to be with it, I don't think. And then even if they know you, they may go, it's too much. Brody, you're yelling. You're going on and on. There's that fear. But also, I think people say, Brody, he repeats himself. He does that. First of all, I have OCD. I do repeat. I don't wash my hands over and over. I don't count. But it's like, I got to get that point. I'm calling it OCD. I'm obsessive about it because I allow my mind to get there. But also I'm thinking, nobody's really watching. I mean, I'm not saying that. Like, I felt all these video podcasts, everything I've been doing has led up. I put all that into the show. All that. I didn't think that, I'm not trying to win people over on this one. I'm trying to be me.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing the podcasts, up to this point, I'm kind of trying to win people over, but I'm also trying. It's a fine line because I'm also like we're doing things. Oh, it's like a rehearsal. I'm rehearsing. Boom. Now I'm here. Hope, knock on wood or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I don't need to like rehash these things and try and always convince people this is what I'm, or even I wasn't about convincing. It was convincing myself. It was like, okay, you got it. You watch me do warm up. I do a lot of the same stuff. It's like I'll still do warm up. Like podcasting, audience warm up is a good skill as well. I'm lucky.
It's good to be able to talk. It's good to learn how to talk to people that don't want to listen.
Oh, well, we learned that from barking. I learned that from being a tour guide at Radio City Music Hall. There really isn't a secret. I look back now, like I said, riding my bike. If you ride a bicycle, you'll think thoughts.
Oh yeah, I think thoughts when I walk slowly. Like if I walk somewhere, I'll talk to myself, and my brain will start humming. I think I deal with a lot of. I've dealt with a tad bit of mania, but I don't really ever hit the downtime. But I don't get allowed to like this fucking woman. She's got a Duck Dynasty shirt on, and now it looks like a Klan outfit because of what they said. But I don't deal with down too much. I have a couple manic episodes I think in my life where your body's humming, and you can't stop it from humming.
Well, then you just got to like go exercise, I guess. Yeah. You know, my brain will hum, and my body will hum. I don't like when my body hums. That's a physical reaction to something. For me, generally, it could be medic. You know,
what meds are you on now?
Well, I'll be honest. I'm going to be honest. I haven't taken my meds for 6 weeks. No, I'm kidding. You know, it's when you're on medication, once you get on that train, it's hard to get off it. It's hard to, it's a mind. Look, they say if it's working, it's working. Don't change. If you feel fine, don't change. We're in entertainment, Bert. This is a unique. I'm not saying we're different or we're better. It's unique what we as entertainers. It's a rare. Just numbers wise, it's a rare thing. So you've been going through it, and I'm sure you've settled into it. You've settled in, and you know there could be another level or two, but there really isn't. You got maybe a couple different levels. You're there. I'm not like, look. What do you mean, bro? I'm just saying, like, there's a couple more levels. You're already in.
Yeah.
Meaning you can relax and be yourself. So I forget why I was saying that. I'm not. What was I saying before?
I think the question was, what meds are you on now?
Thank you. See what I'm saying? All right, good point. Thank you for Bert, you reeled me in like a fish.
I know what you're saying, though. It's this business is weird because our dreams are attached.
Yes.
Our dreams are attached to our personalities.
Yes.
Our personalities get us work, and the more work we get, the more dreams we achieve.
Exactly.
And you almost don't have time to take a break and go, I need some me time, because the business doesn't want to give it to you. I had the same conversation with Amy Schumer, oddly enough, in an airport after we did a gig in Seattle, and we saw at the airport. She was like, I always wanted this work. I just didn't know it would be like this. And I didn't know I'd get to enjoy. I thought I'd enjoy it more. And you get to a point where you're like, I want to breathe, but then I don't want to breathe. I want to keep working. But I know what you're saying. Like,
well, okay. God, I just forgot my point again. I know what I was going to say. I should just keep moving forward instead of thinking back.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to follow your lead. So when you hold my hand, Bert, I'm going to move forward instead of going back. See, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a grinder. I just go. And I say that because I'm able to. Maybe it's not healthy completely. You know, you're married. You have kids. I'm not married. I don't even have a girlfriend. I'm 10% gay. No, but...
I heard that, by the way, on Rogan. That was maybe one of my favorite.
See? That's something I was working on.
We can get him up to 80.
And then it finally got traction.
Yeah.
I probably was beating around the bush, no pun intended. And then somehow by me putting a percentage on it from doing the podcasts, it got traction.
Well, your personality is the kind of... There's two... I'm going to say probably two comics I can think of off the top of my head that are so unique that other comics quote them and do an impression of them when they talk about. If your name is brought up, people do Brody Stevens, 818 till I die, push it to the limit.
You got it.
You got it. You and Ian Bagg. Ian Bagg.
Oh, Ian gets that?
Oh, the second you go, Ian Bagg. Like everyone will do an Ian Bagg impression.
And he's a master crowd work guy.
He's amazing. Both you guys are very unique.
And an athlete. Plays hockey.
Yeah, great athlete.
Big guy like me. Dark hair.
He saw a man die in a rock tumbler when he was a kid.
Oh, what's a rock tumbler?
I have no fucking idea. Some Canadian thing.
Oh, I wouldn't want to.
He saw a man fall into a rock tumbler and die when he was like 17.
You know, it's funny. Not funny, but, you know, I was looking at an online, article. Everyone's online. And I remember seeing like a body when I was a kid. It was over on Topanga, Ventura and Topanga, out here in the valley near, on the way to Calabasas. I'm West Valley, 818 till I die, literally. And this person, I just remember seeing the yellow blanket on the south side of Ventura, and it was a car. A person got hit by a car. I didn't see it happen, but I remember seeing like the blood from under the yellow blanket. It was like, I remember that. They were talking of, I don't know why I'm bringing that up. Talking about, I remember I was probably 11 or 12, and it's like ingrained in my head seeing that. It's like I couldn't handle something traumatic like that being around, like as a kid, seeing violence. Like, it would mess with me. I mean, I remember the first car accident I saw. I was in Sacramento as a kid. I was probably 4 or 5. And I remember seeing this car go through the intersection. It was like blew my mind.
What was the first bit of sexuality that you saw?
You're going to ask that. Oh.
Like
when I went to Bangkok. Oh, no. First bit of sexuality. Well, I can remember like the first time in public, I was aroused. It was at the Mann's Chinese Theater. I was seeing the movie 10 with my father at the Mann's Chinese Theater, starring Dudley Moore and
Bo Derek.
Bo Derek, thank you. Thank you for picking me up on that. And I just, got aroused. So I was 10, and Bo Derek aroused me. And from that point on, that's what it was. And of course I have intrusive thoughts, and I did push it to the limit. But right there, you're seeing me right there.
Wait, I would love to hear a visual representation of pushing it to the limit. Because I listened to that Rogan podcast, and I heard you on the show pushing it to the lit. Should be a T-shirt. I went to Vegas and pushed it to the limit.
It's not an original term. There's a song, push it to the limit. Even Rick Ross does a song on it. So it's not an original thing. But I'm still fleshing it out. But the more, again, no pun intended. Pun intended. No pun intended.
Big pun intended.
Big pun. Good. Hey, I like that. I remember when Big Pun died, I was living in New York.
I remember hearing that Big Pun, my buddy worked on a music video, and they said his wife had to wipe his ass for him. I remember hearing that and going...
Because he was so big?
He was so big, his wife had to wipe his ass. My buddy worked on a music video.
Oh, wow.
He was like, yeah, man. His wife had to go into the bathroom to wipe his ass.
Because he was so big.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just thought if I ever got that big, I'd just hang out in pools all the time.
Yeah.
Just so you have some weight off your body.
That's some really, yeah. Well, you want to lose the weight if you can.
Yeah.
But that's people. We're lucky. I see people that are, especially when it's kids. So I'm not going to think about kids. I'll just think of an adult, but just over, they don't have a chance almost. It's like you feel bad for them. They have, I'm not saying the diseases, but just we're lucky. I'm lucky. I'm able to stay active. We're lucky. We're not
watching your show. The first time I saw Enjoy It, I went, "Oh my God!" I'm very similar in the sense that I like having weights and treadmills and spin bikes around, so that when I'm watching TV, I just hop on the spin bike and just start pedaling. Or I say this obsessively. I always end my day with a bottle of wine on the treadmill, just watching TV.
Oh, it's funny.
I love that. But the trampoline, when I saw you with the trampoline and on your spin bike, I was like, oh, I do that. And I think I texted you. I was like, hey, how many calories does that trampoline burn?
Yeah, look, we all know that exercise is beneficial.
Yeah.
No one, I'm not going to argue the exceptions. We all know exercise is.
Wait, what
well, some guy's going to say like, well, I think I don't know. Maybe there is one guy out there who exercise is over. Well, you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
You don't want to weekend warrior. How does that sound?
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm talking. That's where it's like, all right, or overdoing it.
So the night in Bangkok, it's you.
Oh,
Zach.
moving on.
It's you,
I'm
Zach.
following your hand. I'm following your lead.
It's you, Zach, Dr. Ken.
Yeah, and another actor.
Who's the other actor?
I don't even know if I don't. Dr. Ken, another one. You could figure it out.
I said something, by the way, if Dr. Ken is ever listening. I said something to Dr. Ken one time, so shitty on accident, and I've always think that I don't think he ever caught it, but I caught it, and I obsess about it. I saw.
Oh, he didn't catch it though?
I don't know if he did or he didn't.
Well. What was it? Was it a slam?
No. It wasn't a slam. I was very happy to say I love Ken.
Sorry, that I went racial.
And so and I saw him, and I was with T.O. and
Terrell Owens.
Yeah, and I was
like how I say Terrell instead of Terrell because he called me on it.
He did?
Yeah, when he was at Best Damn Sports Show, he would be on a couple times, and I go, keep it going for Terrell Owens. Terrell, and he but he wasn't a jerk about it. He goes, Terrell. What's it? I forgot it already.
It's
Terrell.
Terrell.
And
it's the Kirsten of names.
So
Kirsten or Kirsten.
But he corrected me, not in a bad way, but kind of in a lighthearted way, actually. But you know what? It worked. I know he's Terrell Owens.
Yeah, he was a really. And so we ran in.
Am I holding the mic? Should I hold it here? I mean,
no, don't worry about it.
Here. Okay.
Don't worry about it. I'd run it through Level later.
Okay.
I saw Ken, and I was so excited. I hadn't seen him since all the work he's done. Last time I saw him, we were working a club together. Yeah. And I caught up and said hi and asked how his family's doing. Is he still practicing medicine at all? He was going to like a voice coach to work on a dialect or some sort. And as we walked away, I meant to say congratulations on all your success. Mm-hmm. What I said was congratulations on all your luck. And it just came out shitty. And I went, wow.
Fuck. Do you want to? You're right. You want to take a moment right now? I'm not. He could be He could listen.
He's not listening. But if he is listening, I'm so sorry, Ken.
Somebody could clip an audio.
If everyone can tell.
Somebody could clip.
Someone clip that audio. Send it to Ken and say, Ken, I'm so sorry. I meant to say congratulations on all your success. I don't think it was luck at all. Yeah. At all. He's super talented, and I thought he was super talented.
Some luck. You create your own luck.
So that night in Bangkok, it's you, Dr. Ken.
All right, I'm holding your
Zach,
hand. I'm holding your hand.
And another actor I don't know.
Well, I don't know if I don't want to say his name. He didn't do anything. I didn't see. Nobody did anything except me. But yeah, we went out, and it's mentioned in the. I'm not saying anything that people haven't heard.
Yeah,
but yeah, we went out. So you just do what all the Americans do. You go to the little fun area, smoke a hookah. And
what's in the hookah? Is it weed?
No,
it's just.
I guess
tobacco?
it's just it's just flavored tobacco. Or I'm not into that necessarily. I know it's popular actually, but over there. I'm not going to get caught with marijuana in Thailand. I'm just not pushing that.
Yeah.
That I won't push to the limit. But people do. I've heard stories of people bringing in, having it there. So I didn't. I said, no way. So I was kind of proud of myself, actually, that I could not. I could be after a day or two, you're fine. You get over that. So I was happy for being able to do that, and I would have a couple beers, and we did go to that. We did go to that Hana Plaza, I think it's called. It's famous, Nana Plaza. But anyway, it's where all the the girls dancing.
How long did you stay in Bangkok for?
Forever. No, for almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks to shoot your scenes.
Yeah, I actually was, working only 5 days. So I was flown over, maybe by Zach, maybe by Todd. Who knows? All I know is I got a call, Brody, Bangkok now. So okay, you got it. And so they pick right down, staying right down the street. They pick you up in a town car, go to the airport. I'd never been.
Did you fly by yourself?
Actually, Bryan Callen was on the flight.
Oh, really?
I'll get to that in a second. So
was Bryan Callen with you that night?
No.
Okay.
Bryan, no. I'm not going to get any. Nobody got in trouble. I'm not going to get anybody in trouble, but nobody did anything to get in trouble about that I saw.
So they fly you and Bryan over?
Well, it's funny. It's like, they fly you over. Boom. We were in Tokyo. It's like an hour layover, and I'm walking. I get out of the airport, Narita. I'm just walking around. I went into the lounge because I was flown business class. And yeah, it was nice. So I was able to lie down. When you're going on that, it's from LA, it was about maybe 9 hours to Tokyo, and then from Tokyo to Bangkok, it's 7 hours. It's not like a quick trip. It's kind of far. So you're flying all day. It's a long you can get direct flights, but I wasn't on that. So we're in Tokyo. I'm walking just around, and I see Bryan Callen walking. I go, Bryan. Oh, Brody. And I go, what are you doing here? He goes, oh, I'm flying, going to Bangkok.
What are you doing?
And I go, oh, you're into Ladyboys too? No, I said, I'm kidding. I said, yeah, you're going over them. Oh, cool. He was on the flight. He was in first class.
Oh, wow.
I was in business class. Bryan, I get that. Totally get it. Earned it. I'm not. So we, hung out and then talked to him during the flight, of course, the second part. And then we went from the airport to the hotel together. So I remember that vividly, actually landing in Bangkok and hanging out with Bryan Callen to find our transportation, because that was kind of a pain a little bit.
Now, when you're on the road like that, do you drink?
Well, I don't mix. I don't mix certain meds and alcohol.
Oh, really?
No.
What's it do?
Well, they'll have different reactions.
Really?
For example, when I was in Bangkok at that time, I was taking Lexapro. Just that's all I was taking. And so I was on like 20 milligrams. If I was on 20 milligrams of Lexapro, which is kind of the therapeutic middle-of-the-road dose.
Yeah.
I would say the median dose, whatever. Most people commonly would take, I would say, 20. Some take 5, 10. 20 is right there in the middle. So I was taking that, but I couldn't drink alcohol. I remember I would hang out with some of the baseball guys, go out with the baseball players. They like to drink, Yeah. So you go out after the game, hanging out. And I would have maybe 3 beers, and then I would just get really buzzed and drunk after like 3 or 4 beers.
Oh, I gotta get on Lexapro.
But no, you don't.
I gotta eat.
Yeah, you get drunk.
Morning,
No, you can get drunk quick.
Quickly.
I mean, that's it can. You don't want alcohol and antidepressants. So then I'd get sick and I couldn't drink more than 2 or 3 beers.
Wow.
So you have to milk it. It just wasn't. That's why I'm able. Yeah. So I couldn't drink beer. That's all. I would throw up. And that's when I went to Bangkok. It was that was a time where I started kind of thinking about, you know, I want to drink beer a little bit. I want to like be like others. But I know I can't drink beer in the 20 milligrams. In fact, I had this conversation with Dr. Ken in Bangkok.
Really?
In the top of the, in top of the La Bulla Hotel where he shot the famous scene with the helicopters. And I was talking about, I wanted to, because I was feeling good. That's the mistake. You know, you feel good. That means, hey, it's working. But I couldn't drink. Not that I'm a big drinker. I couldn't socialize like how I wanted to. I wasn't doing warm-up at that point. So it was kind of like, all right, I'm going to try and, I'm ready to go to that next level. Meaning, I felt I was ready to grow.
Yeah.
But the med thing is tough. It's a tough. There's never an easy time, I think, to adjust meds or go off meds. And like I said, when you're a performer, if you go off your meds maybe at work one day, yeah, maybe you're irritable, whatever. Brody's irritable today. He didn't, snapped at me, but not in a bad way. But you go off your meds and you're a stand-up, you could have a meltdown. You could scream, you can do a fight. Or you can scream on a podcast, or you can send off hate tweets. Not hate tweet, but, manic tweets. So.
Do you feel like you have to censor yourself with Twitter?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Is it hard?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It has been. That's why I'm saying I'm not there yet, Bert. Yeah. I've got, in my mind, the way my mind works is I have 4 more episodes. Manic episodes in me. No, I have 4 more. By the way, I want to laugh with you. I want to laugh. It's great. I mean, laughter therapy. There is everyone knows like the yogi who teaches laughter therapy. You've heard of that guy?
No.
There's a guy who teaches laughter yoga. Woo! Let it out. There's a laughter yoga therapy guy. Really? It's about laughing. Yeah. You haven't seen that in like these holistic magazines?
No, but I bet I could fucking lose my shit in one of those.
When you laugh, I mean, it's proven I don't laugh enough.
I laugh all the time.
Oh, I know you do.
My dad.
You're known as a laugher.
My dad, I realized 2 things. I was in a group of people who got made fun of for their laugh. Which is, by the way, it's
I could see that, Bert. I could see that.
Yeah.
Because instinctively, I'm just being honest. We're honest on the Bertcast. Of course. Sometimes it'd be like, is it real? Is it too much? What is he saying? Good luck? What is this guy? No, call back. But you look at the laugh, and so I see I'm not saying you.
Yeah.
At times, in certain situations, laughter is, to me, not a sign of weakness, but you're avoiding something. I've been with people like, comedy is serious business. This is real life. This is the major leagues. You're in Hollywood. And I've been in conversations with friends who are in the same bubble as I am. And there's a situation that I'm not happy with, or it's bothering me. And for me to fix it, you have to be authoritative.
Yeah.
Not laughing. There's 2 ways. I feel there's 2 ways to handle things, Yes, you can be nice. I played baseball at Arizona State. This is what I learned a lot about team mentality, winning mentality, teaching mentality. I learned the psychological aspect of things, of coaching.
Yeah.
Coach Brock, it's like for the first 2 weeks, go out there and do whatever, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch. Have fun. Do your inter-squad games. We'll practice. We'll do some things. Hey, you make an error. It's okay. 2 weeks. Then, the clampdowns. Let's go. You're ready. He'll let it go. Maybe you play a game or 2. Then you start. Even if you win, that's the time when you really go after a team. After a win. Yeah. Not after a loss. Because you win a game. You messed up a hit and run. You missed 2 signs. We won because we were lucky. That's the coach in you. A good coach is you go after a team after a win, not after a loss. So you learn these things about, hey, I'll let you do it your way. I guess you know more than me. I've been coaching for 25 years. You're 18. Go ahead. Let's see. Not in a bad way, but you sit back.
So wait, what?
How does that apply to comedy?
Yeah, how does that? Because I think you were talking about like dealing with situations.
Hold my hand.
Dealing with situations and
with the laughing.
And with laughing.
Okay, so that's where I come from. It's like I come from a little more of a sterner. Hey, it's not funny.
Yeah.
And you know who else thinks like I'm thinking? From being around it, winners, successful people, nice people, honest people, caring people. You know, punishing somebody or teaching somebody a lesson doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you an a-hole.
No, it doesn't.
You know, I've done this in shows. I've been doing this in shows recently. If you're annoying me, because I'm in a position, I'm in a situation right now where I'm extended, I'm promoting, I'm fully extended right now.
Yeah.
So if anybody, especially if I don't know them, even if I know them, and that hasn't happened, they wouldn't do it. Comedians know, like, leave Brody alone. Let him be. You know, I'm not getting comedians slamming me. I'm sure a comedian would see, like, I don't get it. I don't. Or they go, it's okay. But the comedian in them knows. And I'm just being, again, this is my crazy, not to, like, rip me. You don't cross that line. If you do, I think that's an unwritten rule.
Yeah, I don't think anyone.
But a couple people have. A couple people have crossed that line. That being said, forget about that. But the live thing in the audience, I've actually moved people because, I'm in a situation now where.
By the way, Tosh did that in his hour special.
He did that? He moved somebody?
It's one of my favorite.
Oh, tell me what he did.
It's one of my favorite things I've ever seen, and I think it's in the extras. In the middle of his first hour special, he actually stops the show and kicks two people out and says, "You guys need to move and get escorted out." And
I agree.
And I've seen him do that when we worked.
Good for him.
He is definitely in that. I'm on the other side, which is an interesting representation of both our personalities. I do not like confrontation at all. I don't like.
Neither do I.
No, but I like it.
I don't look for it.
I dislike it to a fault. Like, I will allow people to walk all over me.
F that.
Oh, I
let them walk. Let them walk. Let them walk at first.
Yeah.
Go ahead, walk. All right. Point taken. I'll write it down.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Now you're going to walk again?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, all right, maybe a little elbow. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to walk again? Now I blast you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not, but right now, where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And we're not talking physical, so don't be at home like, F you, Brody, I'll kick your ass. I'm talking comedy. We're talking performing, all right?
And that deals with how you... See, I don't deal with any negativity on Twitter to the point where...
I do, and I got a problem with it, but I'm getting better. Block, 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 block.
I
remind myself.
I don't deal with it at all. I just... Like, I'll tell you what, a very small story to explain. So I did Doug Love movies with
Doug?
With Doug Benson, TJ Miller, Pete Holmes, and the
Patton Oswalt?
No, I can't remember the
Zach Galifianakis?
No, I can't remember.
Will Ferrell?
Nope.
George Lopez?
You're never gonna guess it in that realm.
It's funny.
Sam Levine.
Okay, it's fun. Oh, great guy.
Yeah.
Cubs fan.
Great guy. It was the most disastrous. This is my obsessive compulsiveness too. It was chaos. And I made a comment about something. ... Is like fucking a fat chick.
Whoa.
At UCB.
Can't say fat.
Chick.
You can't say even fat
at UCB.
No way.
Yeah, and it.
I'm gonna get screwed. By the way, I say fat on one of these shows, and I wanted it. I asked. Look, I've asked for things to be cut in. Guys, come on. So there is some. Yeah, go ahead. You can't say. You know what? You can't say fat.
You can't say fat.
You're never going to come off as You just can't. Go ahead. Continue.
And so I said, "Fat." It's like fucking a fat chick. No laughs. And I said, clearly no one in here has fucked a fat chick.
Oh, Bert.
And no laughs again.
I got to be there for you on
and
that
then
one.
Pete Holmes says, yeah, the best thing about having sex with a larger girl is breakfast in the morning.
Larger girl.
And so I said, clearly you've never fucked a fat chick because you don't stick around.
Third time.
You don't stick around for breakfast. You leave in the middle of the night.
Breakfast, she's going to eat it all. I don't know. That means, come on. We're nice.
And so I literally was locked and loaded, ready to get blasted on the internet.
You were?
Oh,
on the internet?
On Twitter. I was like...
Okay, when did this happen?
A month ago.
Okay, so Twitter's hot. All right, go ahead.
So I say to myself, I'm not going to check my Twitter for 2 days.
Oh, I wouldn't.
I'm gonna hop off. And this is, by the way, when
you know what?
This is when they had the update where you could then only look at your @replies from people. You could do it filtered, verified, or people.
Right,
you follow.
I know. I've seen that.
I love it. I only do. People
Why
I
is
follow.
that?
Why do I? Because I don't want to know anything negative. I don't want to get anything negative. I only want.
I need to do that.
Yeah, I don't like negativity at all.
Oh, I hate it.
And so
show me how to do that.
But it turns out I skip it for 2 days. Doug posted 2 days later. I hop on and I see that it's all positive response. They all loved the podcast, and it didn't perk up anyone's ears. Good. It was totally fine, and I was like, wow, that's so crazy. I obsessed for 2 days about it.
Do you see what I just did? You saw it firsthand. Ooh, whoa. Because I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking the Twitter stuff because I was thinking that story happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
But if I said fat chick now, sound like an accident.
Did sound like an accident.
I don't. Yeah, I would censor myself on that. I'm pretty good.
You're good at censoring yourself, though,
because I've done so much audience warm up at Fox Sports. That's Fox is as conservative as you can
when
get.
Did you stop
I'm not
cursing?
saying Fox Sports is. What's that?
When did you stop cursing?
Couple times, really. Never cursed in front of my father. Scared to. Just wouldn't.
Your parents were divorced, right?
Yeah.
Did you spend time with your father?
Yeah. I saw him in the off seasons. No, I saw him. My dad was always around baseball-wise. He was around.
Yeah.
Yes, they were divorced.
Did he pass?
Yeah.
How?
It was funny. It was that he had a heart attack. Well, he had heart problems. He had heart attacks.
Yeah.
My dad had 2 heart attacks, one at 44, the other later on, okay, and had double bypass in his, maybe at 44, had a carotid artery, that's in your neck, maybe at 44, okay. Then, I want to say at late 50s maybe, had another double bypass.
Holy shit.
So, that's... 63. I'm probably, if I don't watch it, and maybe if even I watch it, I'm headed down that road.
You're in great shape, though.
Well, yes, I'm in good shape. I think I do take care of myself better than my father did. My dad was... Smoked cigarettes.
Drank?
Not much, but wasn't healthy as I am. Not that I'm perfect.
How accurate is the cartoon of your father?
Pretty accurate.
Really?
How it looks, or just how they
how
describe them?
How it looks.
I think it's very accurate.
Because I saw that and I see a resemblance between you and him in the cartoon.
Yeah, they did a great job. The animators. I wish I knew their name. I need to include them more and give them credit.
Animation, and we're talking about your show. Enjoy it. That animation is really good, and it really plays well. Now, did you follow?
I know we're not completing any story here. It's kind of funny, but we're touching on these things. And
it's the way I like to.
Okay,
it's the way a regular conversation would go.
And I'm not talking because I'll tell you what. I can bring it down like this. I can give you this, Brody. Welcome to Brody, Brody Stevens. This is how I would do
I'm obsessed with the fact that your name is Steven Stevens.
No, you want me to go into that story?
But is your name?
Do you want to go into that? No, my name's not Steven Stevens. Do you want to go into that? I'll talk about that. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Bertcast. Okay. I was born in the Valley. And on my gift certificate, it says, I was born with a gift certificate. Oh, I'm making myself laugh. And that's good.
Yeah.
Laughter yoga. I was born Stephen James Brody. Okay, that's my name. Stephen James Brody. SJB. SJB.
Stephen James Brody.
It's a mind F, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So I was Stephen Brody. Steve Brody. Played baseball. Mom, Stephen. Grandma, Stevie. But everyone called me Brody. I was always Brody.
Yeah,
But my
Brody's
real
a
name,
great name.
Well, yeah, I figured that out. You know, I didn't think growing up like, hey, Brody's a cool name. Never did, really.
You just called what you called.
Brody, all that stuff. So that's who I was. And when I began doing stand-up or comedy or non-baseball, non-sports, I felt like that guy had to go away. Steve Brody is not, to me, wasn't a funny guy. He was a baseball player. He was this kid. He was this shy guy, never went for it. You know, stayed in his... I was a typical teen, but I'm sure I had problems and all that stuff. But I played baseball, and I was okay. But when I was done with that, I just felt that Steve Brody wasn't the comedian in me. But I wanted to keep the name Brody. I didn't want to... I knew Brody was a good name just from, like...
And it's also what everyone calls you.
They all called me that. So when I remember I would meet people at, other students on campus at Arizona State, and they'd be surprised when, what's your name? Stephen. Oh, really? Oh, I thought your name was Brody. I mean, I always heard that. Yeah. So I knew the name Brody was good. I wanted to keep that name. But Steve Brody, I was like, when you tell people you want to do comedy or be an actor, it's especially later on in life. I know there's a lot. It's a little different now, but back in the late 80s, to say that after you put all that time into baseball and you're in education and not acting, you weren't an acting kid. I've never taken an acting class. I never did anything, that my parents showed to my parents that, hey, Stephen should be doing acting or improv or he's a ham. It was never none of any of that. It was like baseball. So when I couldn't just say to my mom and dad, hey, I want to be a comedian or anybody. I just felt it was like a secret. And, I've spoke about it before. I took a couple acting classes later on at Arizona State. Like my last year, I started thinking about, okay,
what am I going to do?
What do I want to do now? I don't want to really get into I was coaching at Arizona State.
Walking away from baseball is extremely hard.
Easy for me.
Really?
Yes.
I guess it was technically easy for me too, but walking away for good was like, wow, I guess this is a real
What are you walking
decision.
away? What am I walking away from? This is the way I look at it.
Wait. How did you so you just changed it to Brody Stevens?
Well, yeah, I was up in Seattle. Josh Wolf was up there. We had a great comedy scene when I first moved up to Seattle.
I just saw a picture of Josh Wolf in Cabo today.
Oh, really?
On
He's
Instagram.
Ripped.
He's ripped. His wife's hot as shit.
Yeah,
And he's got
Aubrey.
a full head of hair. What the fuck's he wearing hats for?
I know.
If I had that hair, oh my God, I'd never wear a fucking hat. He's gorgeous. Maybe he wears the hats because if he doesn't, he's going to look like a fucking male model. He tries to like white blue collar it up to them.
It could be.
Maybe like just I'm approachable. Like as opposed to
he's got his thing. He's got his style.
Yeah, he does.
He's always had that. I've known Josh since '94.
I met him a couple times. He's always been really nice.
Oh, I thought you guys are. Oh, I've known.
I don't hang out.
I just assume. It's funny. Like comedians just assume all comedians know all comedians. They don't.
We've done I think shows at Melrose, and I've hung around him. He's really nice.
Real nice guy, hard worker.
Yeah.
Great. Like I said, I've known Josh since '94. We started up in Seattle. I mean, he started about a year, 6 months before me.
Yeah.
Played baseball in college, athlete. We really connected.
He's still in amazing shape.
Great shape. And he was in great shape back then and looks the same today. So Josh was up there. Joey Diaz was up there. Craig Gass. Mitch Hedberg. Craig Gass. I said Hedberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Mitch Hedberg. Seattle. Look it up. He was there. This is right when he started. He was still featuring. I saw Mitch maybe once or twice at the Comedy Underground in Seattle, maybe once or twice. But he hung out with Chaz Ablin.
Yeah.
Mitch would hang out with these not like regular people. I remembered that about him, that he was always nice to the regular folk. He was not. This is the vibe I picked up from him.
Yeah.
And so Chaz is actually a really good guy, funny. People made fun of him. He was like, but he had a connection with Mitch. And then I remember back in maybe 2000 or 2001, I hosted at the Melrose Improv, and Mitch Hedberg was the headliner. So it was like I hosted and one or two other comedians, and Mitch headlined.
Wow.
And, he would do a show, he would do it and like leave right away. Do it and leave. Like he didn't want to deal, even though it was like nice to, the little guy, and I don't know what's going on in his head at that time. But, he like had a mobile home or something. So he'd perform, boom, in and out, very quiet. But Lynn, his wife at the time, or girlfriend, but she would tell me, and like, Mitch loves you. It's like, I knew that Hedberg liked me. So that's another thing, like as a comedian, when you have another comedian that's respected, even if they're not respected, forget about that. But again, I'm talking about Mitch Hedberg. But when you have somebody like that say, hey, I think you're funny. Somehow word through Mitch's people got down to me. No, that I think you're funny. That kind of keeps you going. You remember those moments when certain people say to you certain things that give you that shot in the arm of not validation, but you're doing the right thing. Keep doing it. You can think of those moments. I can think of at the Comedy Store when Joe Rogan would say, I'm funny. You're a funny guy. Like, you're like one of the funniest guys. And then I did warm up at the Man Show. He brought me in and always tried to put me on the show. Like, let's put Brody on. Never, let me do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I had my own songs. Stanhope, bring them out. Joe, bring them out. Crazy chicks flashing. They let me do all that. And then Joe would always try and get me on the show. And he was the first one of the, he told me, funny, keep doing it. Dice was another one. I'm talking about the Comedy Store. Dice coming up to me. You never go up to these guys.
Yeah.
I made the mistake one time when I moved to New York and I was working. I wasn't even working yet, barking at the Comedy Cellar. You barked at Boston around the corner. And this is when I first moved to New York. And I went up to Dave Attell. I went to the Comedy Cellar in the Olive Tree upstairs, the restaurant. He was at the bar and he said, hey, you're good, you're a funny guy, thank you. Or something. I said, you're funny. And he kind of like said, okay, thank you. And he was like Dave Attell. That's how he is.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I said to myself, I'm never going to do that again. I picked up Dave's energy, and I could tell like that happens to him a lot, and he doesn't necessarily like it.
Yeah.
And he's super duper respected. I remember Josh Wolf, for example, telling me that Dave Attell's the funniest guy, hands down. I always remember Josh saying that about Dave Attell.
Dave Attell's album, Skanks for the Memory, is the best comedy album I've ever listened to.
Well, there you go. But I don't have an album out yet. So you have to wait for my half-hour special.
You're an idiot. Well, yeah, I would rather see...
Oh, here we're going to go on another story. I see where you're going, Bert.
What?
Because I didn't want to... I was just going to say about the Dave Attell thing.
Go ahead.
Enclosure. This is my OCD. I knew not to do that, to come up, and I always tell younger comedians, or just anybody, leave these guys alone, It's like, let them come. You let somebody, it's just a system. You got to have common sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not saying I feel like that. I'm not comparing myself to those guys at all, so I'm not even going to go there, but I can see how it can be, because you're working. You're actually at the comedy clubs working. When you shouldn't be there to network. Yeah, you want to show your face.
You're right.
Yes, I got to show my face.
Networking is, I always thought when I was younger, if I'm just at the clubs, I'm still working. I'm networking. I'm getting to know people. I'm getting to make friendships. The truth is, it's not as important as everyone would like to think it is. Networking is not important when it comes to the long haul at all. What's important is doing the work. doing the work, being a nice guy, and going auditions, going in, meeting producers, doing all the stuff, getting on stage, doing stand-up, getting better at your craft is much more important than networking. And look at Frank Caliendo. He got into the business with probably zero networking. He was just funny as fuck, and he got on Montreal, destroyed. You remember Chicken?
The Late Chicken.
He didn't network at all. He just got up, did his thing, and you get into the business. Networking is great, probably, I just think it's overrated. I agree with you. I think networking is overrated. Get in there.
Hold that thought, Bert. I don't want to say networking is overrated. I want to say that there is an element I do think showing your face, for example, going to the Improv once or twice a week. I remember like Thursday nights is a big night to hang out there. You're not passing out business cards and shaking. I don't want to shake everybody's hand.
Yeah.
But you want to have them see your face. And that's it.
Just so you feel comfortable there, I think, sometimes. So that when you go to do a spot, it's not like you're a stranger.
I didn't look at it that way. I've done, at that point, I'd been doing tour guiding at Radio City Music Hall. You're barking in Greenwich Village, out in New York City.
Yeah.
You should be bulletproof. You're going to get nervous walking into the Improv when you spent 3 years or whatever in New York, performing in New York, the toughest stand-up in the world.
Yeah.
That's the major, in my eyes, New York City is the major leagues of stand-up comedy specifically.
It is the prison yard.
I would say that's accurate.
When it comes to, if we're talking about fighting, it is the prison yard.
Yes.
And LA is Vegas and a prize fight. You got to,
Hold on. I'm not gonna just go with you on these things, Bert.
Okay. I used to draw the analogy.
Because times are changing.
Really?
Times are changing rapidly.
Let's say LA is the UFC.
And New York is
the prison yard.
I'll accept that. Keep going.
I was dying to ask you when I saw, because I know you'd been bullied.
Here comes a new story.
You were bullied as a kid.
I like how you go prison yard, bowling. I see where you're going, Bert. I understand it.
I was wondering what your thoughts on the Jonathan Martin, Richie Incognito bullying stuff
good.
was.
We're going to go out of that. I like where you're going. Thank you that was a nice, seamless transition.
Yeah.
Let's get out of our world.
Yeah.
Now let's talk sports. Thank you. What do I think about that? Bullying a teammate, I mean, I've seen it happen. I got picked on a lot for being Jewish, for being hairy, for having a big nose. I mean, I heard everything from high school, basically starting from high school all through college.
You definitely get bullied. Your freshman year that you go into a locker room, you're bullied. You're hazed.
Yeah, I would say ninth grade, it was, you're not bullied, it's teasing.
Yeah.
It's teasing in ninth grade. Excuse me. Still, it can cross the line into bullying, but it's mostly teasing.
Yeah.
In which can get old and hurt your confidence. And
it's not the best place when you want to perform.
It's not fun.
No.
But but they're also funny. It's like these guys are kind of teasing you, your teammates, but it's also funny.
Yeah.
And you can tell they're still dicks. I'm not saying they're not that, but they're not malicious towards me. I can tell with somebody, and I'm lucky, in person. I mean, I've picked up negative energy from people, but you know when it's malicious and not. And I've been lucky enough to there's not that many. There's way more good people than bad people.
Yes.
I know it sounds cheeseball,
but I agree with you. I think if you smile to people on the street, you get a smile back. Very few people see a smile and just frown.
I don't. I don't. I do that. I do that all the time.
If someone smiles at you, you don't smile back?
I do that, but I don't smile at people, and I do smile at people, and they don't smile back.
Yeah.
Most people don't smile back.
Really?
That's what I think.
Oh, try it. Try it today.
Where do you do it?
I do walking to Gelson's.
All right, you walk to Gelson's.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. You're a lovable guy. You're not. I mean, you're like an everyday guy. You look like you got a gnat. Your teeth are showing. Your beard's not aggressive. You go into a smile. I don't. I look serious. I mean, when I smile, I smile. But as I've gotten older and I get a very serious, and I'm in my head, I'm not smiling. I'm thinking. And people assume that I'm in a bad mood or that kind of stuff. So I know about smiling and not smiling. I get that.
Yeah.
That whole thing. But I also feel because I'm as a stranger, for example, I'm intimidating.
Well, you're a big guy.
I'm a big guy. And I'm dark features. And I'm Jewish. It's a little different. It's a little different in this neighborhood. And here's another thing. I'm going to say another thing. I'm going to go on record saying this.
Okay.
I'm going to go on record. When people say, when I mention Jewish stuff, I always throw out the anti-Semitic line. It's a joke. Like when somebody rips me on Twitter, I go, "You're an anti-Semite." I'm joking. You know, I don't really think you're an anti-Semite, but I do think that you're not comfortable with me, and I think you're not comfortable with me. And those, if you were to write what I'm not comfortable about, those would be traits of Judaism. Oh, he's loud. He's different. He's eccentric. I'm describing a lot of Jewish people.
That's a really
whether you like it or not, that's what you're doing.
That's a really interesting insight that I've never really kind of looked at. Is
good.
Sometimes what people are saying they don't like are simply inherent qualities culturally that you have inherited from your upbringing.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Do you know Gary Goldman at all?
Yes,
I love Gary.
Tall.
Jewish. Jewish. You and him could be brothers. The back to Richie Incognito.
Oh, you want to get out of the Jewish stuff?
Yeah.
The only reason I say that, by the way, and you did. You say you did? People get freaked out by this. I played baseball. If anybody can talk about this, I can.
Yeah.
I played baseball in Arizona. Okay? You want to talk about a quote-unquote racist state?
Yeah.
Arizona, 5 years. Oh, well, that's all you got? You're in the Alaska, Fairbanks, 6 weeks. Oh, well, Wichita, Kansas, 6 weeks. So I've spent extended periods of time in non-Jewish environments. I'm not the guy to say, I don't mind if you're that way. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
You don't like me because I'm because I'm showing Jewish traits. But also here's the other thing. If I'm around that guy, I can hang out honestly. I can hang out with the KKK guy. And I guarantee you after an hour we'll be joking around.
Yeah.
And now you're going to, what, Brody, you're hanging out with a KKK? Yeah, I would. Yes. Because I see the 30% positive. Maybe the 70% or sick, whatever, is frickin' hate, dumb, uneducated, not their fault, where they were born.
But the way your brain works is you find the thing you guys would probably connect on.
Correct.
And that's probably why you were so good at audience warm-up, is that you'd find what you connected on, and then from there you'd blossom out.
Even with the KKK guy. So when I say, in closing, we'll get out of this. Because, well, Richie Incognito, why is me talking about Jude, the anti-Semite, why is that weird, but we can talk about the N-word? So I'll bring up the anti-Semite stuff. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it because I'm blue collar. I'm from the sorry, America, you created a monster. No, I'm just I can give that point of view. I'm just giving my personal, I'm like Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty. I'm giving, and I know it bothers people, and I don't want to I don't want to. I'm not making a stink. I'm not some guy like fist in the air pro Judaism. I'm just saying it's out there.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. That's all. And I'm okay with it. I'm not liking a protest. I want to help you. I want to see the positives in that.
So it's an interesting theory, because what you're saying is, and go with me and see if this makes sense. Imagine if everyone was exactly the same color. However, because of this isn't going to make much sense. Imagine if today everyone became gray. Everyone was a gray color.
Okay.
But black people still had an identity of being African American. Culturally, they looked identical to us, as sometimes Jewish people do. You can't really tell sometimes if people are Jewish.
Tell.
You can tell, but culturally, you're defined by the way you were raised. And so you're saying anti-Semitism.
Culturally, you're defined by the way you were raised. Okay. Before I go with you, I gotta do my checkpoints.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what you're saying is that there are things culturally, the way you interact. You said yourself, I'm loud. That's a Jewish trait.
They would say that.
Yes.
If when you have your typical checklist of what a quote unquote Jewish guy is.
You don't mind interacting with someone that you don't know right off the bat. Like, I'm thinking of things that you have, but you're saying that they're culturally, those are Jewish traits, and that if you don't like that, then chances are you probably won't like a lot of Jewish people, and you may not know it yet, but you are an anti-Semite.
There's some of that, yes. And I've done a whole I'm not going to spend a whole podcast, and we're not even going to discuss it here.
Yeah.
I don't, because it's funny. I think it's like, I
think Gary Goldman would agree with you.
There you go.
Gary.
Oh, I have facts backing this up.
Yeah, Gary definitely would find anti-Semitism in things I wouldn't see, and he'd be like, "Dude, it's anti-Semitism."
I guarantee you. This is 2014. There is a reason why Jewish people back in the day changed their name. Steve Brody's not a Jewish name. I wasn't Steve Horowitz, so I was Steve Brody. Well, it's an Irish name. People don't always know. Like. Jewish. That's why I'm saying I don't, it's not like everybody's coming down on me. There's just a few. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. So, that's why they changed their names.
Jeff Ross.
Come on. So.
What was his?
Lifschultz. Do you think if Jeff kept that name, I guarantee there's people in America that are huge Jeff Ross fans that don't realize
had no
his
idea
history or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, Jeff, he talks about being Jewish, so there you go. I guarantee you there's people. There's people out there who don't realize maybe that Seth Rogen's Jewish. I don't know. But he's also an actor. So they're willing. I can't speak on this as well as other experts. But it's like these quote-unquote conservative types, they'll support somebody gay and they don't realize it. Like, this guy's so gay, can't you see it? Or there's some stuff going on. So what I'm saying is, bottom line is, you're talking about, where was I going with that, Bert? Got very, I don't want to go in that. Remember earlier, I said I'm on meds. Sometimes I lose my thoughts. So you got to grab me out.
So I think this started by saying, what did you think about the Richie Incognito?
Well, because that's an N-word thing, man.
Yeah.
And we talk about locker room culture. So I did go off track. All right, we're back to that. Thank you.
Do you feel like I identified a lot more, I think, with Jonathan Martin than I did Richie Incognito. However, I realized how Richie Incognito got to the place he's at by being bullied. Does that make sense?
You think Richie Incognito was bullied?
I know.
Probably,
he said he was bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, what's bullying? I got picked on. I didn't have a male figure in my life all the time around. I'm not blaming my dad. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
I live with my mom and my sister. So when I got picked on, say at school, oh, Brody, you're, these are the early on stages. Oh, you're gay. What are you, weird? Early on, public school, all, different, big mix of everybody.
What's the thing with your hip? You have a tilted
I have a tilted pelvis. I have an extra lumbar and a tilted pelvis. But So I didn't have that person, older brother. I'm not blaming my father at all.
Yeah.
I didn't have that person around the house like, you sit at the table. What happened at school today, Stephen? Well, so-and-so said I was this. Really? Well, you're not that way. You're this guy. Or
this is how you
handle
handle
that's
it.
okay. That's how you handle it. Tell them you this.
Yeah.
My dad did try, but there were times it wasn't, look, you didn't have that male figure around all the time. And so when I got picked on, wherever I got picked on, whether it be by my sister or students, I didn't have that male outlet to maybe vent to or have them speak to me, just letting me know it's okay. And it's also different. What happens if I got picked on by my older brother? Imagine how that would have changed things. You know what I mean? So Rich Cognito, or a lot of people, I think if you're raised differently, you can handle certain things differently. Oh, I'm bullied. Well, you're bullied? Let's see. It's not your fault, but you don't have a brother. All right. You're a lot around women.
That's me.
Me too.
Yeah, I have 2 sisters, my mom, my dad.
It makes you a little more sensitive to things.
My dad did a good job, but I never was really open about getting bullied or what it felt like.
But it bothered me. I was sensitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I am I am sensitive. You have to, it's like I was. So bullying affects people differently. So Richie Cognito was probably, I'm sure he was picked on. And it's like, look, it's a locker room. It's crazy out there. And I've are you talking about the N-word, him using the N-word specifically? What do I think about that also, or just the bullying? I think bullying, it happens.
The N-word situation with Richie Incognito, every black guy came to his defense. So there's nothing to be said about it.
There you go. That went away.
Yeah, that went away.
Because that's the locker room culture.
Chris Carter called him a straight up racist.
Oh, he did?
On TV, and then all the black guys on his team are like, nah, it's fine. He's got to pass. And then I guess everyone just had to be like, oh, guess that's how that works. I just need to find a few black guys that, if I ever said that word, that would just come to my defense and be like, oh no, Bert can say it.
Really? Yeah.
I don't even say the word. I stopped singing it in songs because I would love hip hop.
It's funny you should bring. I have a story about that because I have been coming out to hip hop songs. I went on the road I was on that Oddball tour with Dave Chappelle, which was great. Went all over the country, amphitheaters, and Dave would come up
to Black Jesus.
Well, he would come up to hip hop.
Kanye.
Whatever. He would play all these different. In the intermission, the 10 minutes working up to Dave would be all. You had a DJ, hip-hop stuff. And then after shows, occasionally we would have parties, and there'd be a DJ there and playing music that Dave likes. And it was like, so you started learning these cool hip-hop songs. You go, hey, I'm going to download some of their fun. You go on iTunes. Oh, yeah, boom, boom, boom. And then it's like, hey, I was on that Oddball tour, so I had that Oddball energy because playing big crowds outdoors, and you have to kind of like get the music and get them going. And I would come up to music anyway a lot in the Comedy Store or wherever, but I just started coming up to more hip-hop recently, playing that role. And, there's some N-words in these songs. And so I'm up there, I'm dancing, and I'm not lip-syncing. I'm dancing, maybe I'll, gesture. Yeah, there's a couple songs with the N-word that's in there probably more than 5 times. And I'm up there dancing to it.
Yeah.
My defense is, number one, I'm having fun to the music. I really am. I'm having a good time.
I think the
yeah, but people could take that as racist. I've had one person in particular bring it up to me.
Really?
Yes.
PC Police, if we're going to take it to the place where you can no longer listen to hip hop because the N-word's in there,
it's
and you
ridiculous.
Can no longer enjoy that music, then I think it's. Look,
I think it's a small percentage.
Yeah.
It's a very
I guarantee you there's people that believe that. What was the Oddball tour like? Was it fun?
Yes. Good. I like how you're going. I'm following
Who's on it? You? Dimitri?
The headliner was Dave Chappelle and Flight of the Conchords. Dimitri Martin did a whole bunch of shows. Al Madrigal,
Al's
a lot of
hilarious.
shows. Kristen Shaw, a lot of shows. They were on most of them. Jeff Ross was on most. He hosted a lot and did regular spots also. I was on every one. Flight of the Conchords, every one. Dave, every one. We
How
had
much
Chris
time
D'Elia.
is Flight of the Conchords doing?
They would do close to an hour.
And then Chappelle would follow them and do an hour?
Yeah, they would probably do, I would say,
that's a long
I want to say 50 to an hour.
It's a long fucking comedy show.
Oh, the show, gates were at 5 o'clock. Gates opened 5 o'clock. And they were tailgating. There was tailgaters. I would get there at 4.
Who put this together? The Comedy Central?
Live Nation, I think, and Funny or Die, and just a few. There's a few. I don't know everybody, but I want to say those two were involved. And
it just seems like a long show for comedy.
Well, yeah, and you're outdoors.
Did you sell merchandise?
I sold some shirts.
Did they have like a merch booth?
Yes,
that's
2 of them.
Great. And then you just get a check at the end of the night,
or cash.
Oh, how great is that?
But I wasn't selling stuff. I mean, I sold maybe 30. Not even. I sold maybe 20 shirts.
Are you doing the road at all?
I have some road gigs lined up, but not really. I mean, I have some I'm going to do.
You should be on the road more.
Look, everyone says that, but it's tickets. Like, yeah, maybe I should be on the road more, but I also want to enjoy things more. Not that I don't enjoy the road. Me personally, I enjoy hanging out with the baseball teams.
Yeah, what was that? I remember there was a time where I'd see you, and it seemed like you were in a dugout every week.
Yeah,
with the dog. What? How did that work?
Very connected, Bert. Notice I'm in relaxed mode now. It's taken us 2 hours to get into Brody relaxation. Bert put me under a spell.
You're one of the most enjoyable people to talk to. I get such a kick out of you.
Enjoyable, yes.
How did you get hooked up with the baseball?
I played baseball,
but your access seemed kind of.
I went to Arizona State. Arizona State has over 100 players that played in the major leagues.
So you can just roll in. Like I had a buddy who pitched for the Twins.
Who?
Radke.
Yeah, Brad Radke.
Yeah, and
he's on that video game when he made fun of himself for giving up all those home runs.
I remember that. I was in college when that happened. And we all grew up with him, so we saw that. I
met him, I think, once. Somehow I knew Radke or met him sometime. I have some connection with Radke, but go ahead.
You and him would get along really well.
I think I have some connection with him. I gotta I'll rack my brain another time. But
he's a really great dude. Just one of the nicest guys, and loves listening. Like he's a listener,
right?
So like he can get into a conversation, and he's a real active listener. But I remember.
So am I, by the way.
I'm a horrible listener.
You know what? I think you're right.
I went up when he'd come and play New York. I'd go up to the game and hang out with him after the show, and I had okay access, or I think then, especially because we were all young, but I remember him in New York taking us the subway to the game, and I was like, "Shut up!"
Yeah, a lot of the players do.
Yeah, the team gave him like 5 subway tokens, and they were like, "We'll see you at the games."
Yeah,
they would shut up
at 42nd. I'm sure the Hyatt at 42nd Street, hop on the 4 train, boom, you're right there. lot. I mean, Derek Jeter would take the subway in the early days.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember the?
I saw Harold Reynolds on the subway going.
I worked with Harold Reynolds over at Yankee Stadium recently.
There you go. He was taking the subway to Yankee Stadium. I remember that.
Do you remember an outfielder named Kenny Lofton?
I know. Yeah, of course. I know him. Went to U of A. Played for the Indians, for the Dodgers. He's going to be one of their announcers coming up. Of course, I know Kenny Lofton. Played basketball also at U of A.
Kenny Lofton, when I was young in New York, was playing for the Indians. They were playing the Yankees, and my friend was friends with them, and they said, "You want to go get drinks with Kenny Lofton tonight?"
Right.
And I said, yes. So I told my buddy Eddie, I was like, dude, you want to meet Kenny Lofton? He was like, fuck, yes.
Yeah,
so
it's cool. Meeting athletes.
We went to that, I think that restaurant, the hotel you were talking about where the players stay.
Yeah, the Hyatt there.
We go there, and we go up, and we sit down, me and Eddie and Kenny and my friend Monica and another friend.
Right.
And we're all having drinks, and we're all talking about the game and we're playing, and Kenny gets up to go leave, and my buddy Eddie just looks really unimpressed. And I'm like, I go, what's the matter? And he goes, when's he going to show up? I go, what do you mean when's he going to show up? He's here. He goes, who's here? I said, Kenny Lofton. He goes, who? No, he's not. I said, the black guy is Kenny Lofton. He goes, I thought we were meeting Kenny Loggins.
Oh, that's funny.
The whole time he was waiting.
That's funny.
He was waiting for it to be Kenny Loggins.
I have a similar story.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Calabasas when I was in, this is probably my first year of college, and people would go to Sagebrush Cantina, and this was down the road. Somebody will come up with, gotta know it. Sagebrush Cantina, and then like a half mile up the road was another bar. Gosh, I can't think of, somebody will know. So this is like 1989, and it was packed. So everyone from like the West Valley would hang out there, coming home from college or whatever. And there's a rumor that Bruce Springsteen's going to play here. So they had a little band area.
Yeah,
Bruce Springsteen. That was a big buzz. Springsteen. And it was Rick Springfield. That's who ended up playing, like a little secret show kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was Springfield.
Oh.
Everybody thought it was going to be Bruce Spring. That was the buzz.
Wow,
Springsteen.
poor Rick Springfield. Like, anyone else would be thrilled if he just showed up randomly, but the idea that you're seeing Springsteen and then Rick Springfield rolls in.
Everybody was talking, it's going to be Springsteen. I'm going, yeah, the boss, born in the USA. This is going to be amazing. And it's Springfield from General Hospital, who you have to respect. And there's another, I'll give you two more stories.
Great musician.
Yeah, Australian. I'll give you two more quickies on Springfield. He was at Best Damn Sports Show, and these are no big, this is really not either nothings. Remember, he played at Best Damn Sports Show, and we rarely would have like musical guests, but we had him on. I remember he had like fans. He had these Rick Springfield fan club members, these girls
Obsessive.
all in there. Obsessive.
In the movie Sun Studio.
I want to see that documentary.
Yeah, they talk about it. Rick Springfield was one of the most underrated musicians because of General Hospital. Keep going.
Scorpio.
Is he really?
No, that's what his character's name was.
Oh,
wasn't it Scorpio?
Oh. I was like, wow, that would be odd that you would know his astrological sign. He's a Scorpio.
I know Morris. He's a Gemini.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
He's born on the same day as me.
Okay.
May 22nd.
So wait. So you were saying
Rick Springfield.
Yes.
So yeah, had these like, I just remember like these weird, because we'd always have certain kind of crowd at that show, and when Springfield was there, it was just a weird. You had to let the girls be themselves. They wanted nothing to do with you. It was all about Rick.
Really?
And I remember that specifically. Like, wow, this guy's got some like weirdo fans almost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that soap opera world's a whole nother world. So these were like kind of, so I had that. And then Rick Springfield was on Chelsea Lately, right? And I was doing warm up there. And he was running late or something. And one of the girls who worked there wrote a tweet, said something to the effect that Rick Springfield's running late, something about cocaine. Like, it wasn't smart. It wasn't smart. It was kind of like ripping drugs or whatever. Yeah. And he showed up and did the show, but this girl got fired for saying that.
Shut up.
Yeah, like there was a meet. I think we had a meet. There was some kind of, after that, there was a big, like, company corporate meeting that you can't do that. You can't divulge personal opinions. It's just wrong.
Yeah, there's a line.
Yeah, that's all. So that was my real little Rick Springfield stories.
So 4 more episodes of Enjoy It.
I like where you're going.
I'm
holding your hand.
Do you write down goals?
I used to. I have to-do lists. I mean, and if you look at my to-do lists, when I scribble, there's another thing. He says the same thing. Yeah. You look at my to-do, it's the same thing. Hike, drum lessons, yoga, comedy album, London, Australia, hike. What else do I have? That's about all I have. Headshots, website. They're the same thing. All that vacuum.
Yeah.
Clean bathroom, and I never get to it.
Australia.
It's the same thing. So that is a form of, but when I was, it's kind of funny, when I was in high school, I kind of did the opposite. I'd say, you suck. I think I had negative. I put up negative. I got to ask my mom this. For some reason, I think I put up negative notes. You suck. And then I also had like commands like throw strikes, but also I think I had negative ones up there.
To inspire you?
Yeah, kind of like, I got to ask my mom and sister about that. I did put up notes. I mean, I was big on putting up those affirmations, but I think I put up, if somebody says that, if you're not, do I have a chip on my shoulder? I'm not even say bitter. I'm not bitter. What do I have to be bitter about?
Yeah.
Because I've heard somebody say that, like maybe. What's a weird word? Somebody's bitter. It's a harsh word to throw out.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Bitter. I'm not bitter. Do I have a chip on my shoulder? No. Do I remember everybody or most who were jerks to me or hurt me or I allowed them to hurt me or I was hurtable? Do I remember that? F yeah, I do. Fuck yeah, I do. And right now, for the next, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I have 4 more shows for this run. In my mind, I feel like, hey, I built up some currency. I built up goodwill.
You've got some traction.
I've got some traction, exactly. My fear is that, hey, these next 4 episodes, and again, my mind, overthinking, too sensitive, too close. I feel like, hey, I'm going to
That's really insightful, by the way.
What?
Your mind, overthinking, too sensitive,
yes,
too close.
Yes.
That's really, because I think that is the majority of comics. Overthink. They're too sensitive.
Yes.
I think you're totally right. And I think it was, by the way, it was really cool in the episode I saw. I think it was last night or the night before last. When Zach made you go and work at a soup kitchen and you realized, oh shit, here I am, just a comic, obsessing about myself. And I realized there are people that have bigger fucking issues to deal with. I saw you put it in perspective a tad bit and I went, wow.
I'll be, yeah. Yes. I know these things.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know. And I did it on that. That was real. I'm talking specifically about that, me going to a soup kitchen. If you ask me now, would I go to a soup kitchen again? Probably not.
Let me tell you something.
I'm going to be honest.
No, one year we adopted a family for Christmas. Our family adopted a family, and we took we decided we were going to take, I think, half of what we were going to spend on Christmas, and we were going to spend it on this family, and we got them what they needed. It was really interesting. Their Christmas list was very tangible goods. I need printer cartridges. That's not really real. That's not what they wanted. But the kid said, I want a hat. I want a jacket.
Cold.
I could use socks. It was very real.
Needed socks.
And I can't remember exactly what they needed, but I remember, the dad wanted work boots.
Okay.
The dad wanted boots that he could
Red
work
Wing.
boots. Right.
Well, bring them in. So, we'll lace them up and oil up. I love the Red Wing. Has great commercials, by the way.
We bought all these presents, and then we took them into the neighborhood and took them to the family and dropped them off.
What do you mean neighborhood?
The
hood?
The hood.
Okay.
We took it into the hood. We came out with, whatever, a assload
with
of
your
gifts.
lives.
And we walked the girls in. We walked the girls in. We thought it would be a great learning experience for the girls. We did it. And all of us, Leanne and I both were like, never do that again. I'd rather just give money to someone. But that interaction with dealing with a family that it was so uncomfortable. It was seemed like something that was probably a great idea in the 80s. But now it just was really too intimate. And they gave us like a picture of the kid. And it was it freaked me out so much that I have a hard time doing stuff like I would never be able. I wouldn't be able to function at a soup kitchen. I'd be.
Are you talking about working there full time?
No, just volunteering. It makes me feel like I got it so good. I don't know. It creeped me out. Leanne would be better equipped to explain the feelings that happened when we adopted that family. But now we just give money to people that just take the fucking money.
Well, I like I said, and I mentioned this earlier, and I'm in a weird position right now. I've got, like I said, 4 more episodes. In my mind, because this is so personal and real, it's not stressful. There's tension and anxiety.
You're worried of how people receive it?
Correct. I don't care about a season 2. I don't care. Whatever happens next is going to happen. Oh, you got to go on the road. You got to do this. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Whatever that's going to happen. My instincts are telling me, my body and my instincts are telling me, see this thing through. But also, I look at it like you're teeing it up. It's like it's a tee shot, man. It's like you're on, and you're back, and it's just like you got to be perfect. If you're not perfect, you're gonna slice it, or you're gonna. I'm not even a golf guy, or you'll hook it. You've got to hit it square, perfect. So I'm taking my quote unquote career. It's like a golf shot. You know, I'm swinging right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're right there. I'm lined up. Because other times when I took that swing, I just didn't have the muscles. I didn't have the wisdom, the muscle memory, maybe, of doing it right.
Well,
on a certain stage. It's like, hey, I have squared it up and hit some good ones. Believe me, I know. That's why I have the confidence. I've squared it up on certain shows.
Yeah.
I had it doing Chelsea, being in The Hangover. Not that I rocked it, but I squared it up in terms of, hey, being in a movie. So all those things were like into the swing, and maybe that first one or third one, I did Kilborn a few times, but like I was off, and a result was that manic episode. I mean, you could be that far off, miss hit the ball that much. My getting manic effed up that shot.
Yeah.
Because I had it lined up. Well, you got a show. It's about you.
You should know, and I say this to so that you can.
How many listeners? You got a lot of listeners.
As someone who's teed it up a lot, and I've taken a lot of drives off the first tee box, and I thought I had it lined up perfect and hit in to the woods. You can play out of the woods super easy on this hole. Like this, that's the thing about this business is you can play out of the woods, you can play out of the sand.
I'm back to the tee. Yeah, I'm not. No. I'm going to get it right.
Yeah.
Today, it's repetition. Yeah, that's a positive way to look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll hit it out of the woods. Yeah, I'm that guy.
I'm always playing out of the woods.
I'm that guy. But I'm not going to put myself in the woods to begin with. Yeah. I'm not going to.
It's better to hit right off the fairway.
Exact preparation.
Yeah.
Can I deal with being in the woods? Yeah, I'll deal with it. But right now, I don't need. If I go in the woods, I go right back to the tee.
Yeah.
I'm not playing out of there now. Not yet.
I don't think you have to, man. I think this show is so.
4 more episodes, Bert, because.
I can't wait.
Listen.
Can you give us a teaser of what's going to happen in the next 4?
Yeah, I'll give you a teaser. There's 4.
If you had to, because you're so good at giving almost like catchphrases, like you're good at what theoretically would be just like a hashtag. So if you had to hashtag,
you want to simplify my answers. I can tell where you're going.
If you could give me one word for the next 4 episodes.
Oh, look at that! I see how you work.
So the next episode, what would be like?
This has been you know what this podcast has been? It's been you kind of like I'm running around. I'm like one of your kids. I'm running around and you're grabbing me, and I know, but I like it. I mean, it makes you're being a responsible parent podcaster.
Well, I just like the way your brain works. I like listening to you talk, and then I like watching because.
But it can be too much.
I know.
Sometimes.
I wish you did a podcast just yourself.
Well, I do.
Just by yourself.
How dare you? Yeah, I mean, I interview people, but a lot of times I just talk.
Oh, I gotta start listening to that.
Brody Stevens Festival of Friendship. That's on the Feral Audio Network. I do Death Squad. I'm loyal. That's my heart. They're
Death Squad for life.
Death Squad for life, of course, and they've been there for me. But when I do Feral, that's that's sensitive Brody.
Yeah.
That's, that side. That's the, not alternative, but that's sensitive. That's acoustic Brody.
Acoustic Brody.
Acoustic. When I'm on.
Oh, that's a great name for your album.
Acoustic Brody.
Brody.
Let's write that down. Just acoustic Brody.
Acoustic Brody.
Autistic acoustic.
So surmise like all right.
Like
so 2
I
episodes.
can do it.
2 episodes was push it to the limit.
Okay. I don't know if I can do a hashtag because I forget. I have to. I'm in the middle of this thing, and I sometimes I get confused. So this Sunday, when will this air? Probably next week.
I can air this whenever you want me to. Do you want me to air it today?
Sooner the better.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll air it.
You think this is an airable? I mean, I'm doing
very airable, dude. Yeah, very. I'll air it. The only problem is, at one point you said 2014, and I thought to myself, well, I guess I can air this in 2014, and I don't have to correct him and say it's 2013 still.
Well, I'll do whatever you think's right.
No. I'll air this. I'll tell you what. I'll air it. What's today?
It's day after Christmas.
I know, but I don't know what day it is.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Yeah,
I'll air it. I'll put it up tomorrow.
No rush at all.
Yeah, I'll do.
Yeah. I here's the deal. What I've learned, Bert, is trusting others. I trust you. I trust you. I trust your podcast. I respect you. I understand. And that's why I come in with like the caveat. Is that the right? I'm letting people know ahead of time that I'm a little, I'm spread thin. And due to that, I can be irritable. I could also be in, like I'm doing. And that's why I really, I think on my podcast, because I'm in complete control, I really can just bring it down.
Yeah.
I know what's best for me, and I know what's best for that particular audience. When I go on somebody else's podcast, like I'm a guest here or guest somewhere else, I can get into it. Like I'm doing that. And I just think in the back of my head, somebody in the cubicle's getting mad at me. He's talking too much. He's loud.
That's the reason you're here, is to talk.
Right. But I'm so, this is podcasting. I was on stage last night at 3 a.m. with David Arquette and Don Barris, and we're going. You have to put out that energy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, the next day, all right, podcast mode. But I'm just making excuses for how I'm behaving. So how I'm acting.
So let's go through.
I have so many things, honestly, going on in my head right now that I am kind of like, people are letting me do it. I have to promote this thing a little bit. I love podcasting. It's a form of therapy. Believe me,
you're really good at it.
Well,
you're a really good guest on podcasts. Podcasts are such that a lot of times I will download the podcasts of people I'm excited to listen to talk. Like, there are very few podcasts, probably I will say Marin and Rogan are the two podcasts I'll just listen to all their podcasts because I trust whoever they have on. Like most of the other ones, and Ari's, I listen to a lot of Ari's because Ari's and Duncan's got a really great podcast. And Joey, I take that back. There are a lot of podcasts, but the majority of podcasts I just go to and I'm like, oh, Brody's on, I'll listen to this one because I'm excited. I know I'll be excited. Colin Quinn, if Colin Quinn's on any podcast, I listen to it no matter what.
Yeah,
because I know I'm going to like what Colin Quinn has to say. So wait, let's go through the episodes.
Okay.
So this week,
all right.
This Sunday.
So this Sunday will be, what's episode? What is it? 6, 7, 8. No, these are 9 and 10.
They're hour long.
They're 9 and 10, which will be 42 minutes.
Okay.
So yes, it's like you're watching one episode.
I love it, by the way, an hour long.
They back it to back. So this will be 6 and 7 and 8, 9 and 10. So this one is me getting mad at things, the process of making the show and how I'm dealing with we pull back the curtain a little bit on this one.
Yeah.
And
so if you had to hashtag it would be?
Oh, we're back to that. Yes. I like how you're doing that. Hashtag I'm going to say frustration.
Okay.
Hashtag frustration.
You're really good at that. Okay, so then that's this Sunday, correct?
That's episode 9, which is this Sunday. But then we have 9 and 10.
So episode 10 would be hashtag...
I'm going to say Seattle.
Okay, perfect. Episode 11.
Hashtag Boston.
Episode 12.
Hashtag celebration.
And then we have...
That's it. That's 12 episodes.
Okay, perfect.
And then I think this is to tell you how honest I am.
Yeah.
I taped the half-hour special for Comedy Central. I don't know when it's going to air. I don't know if I'm assuming it's going to air.
It'll definitely air.
Okay, I'm assuming it's going to air. But I want to let other comedians know. No, this is common sense. I mean, obviously, your own television opportunity is going to way more than a 1/2 hour special. So I have not even thought about that.
Okay.
But you would think the stand-up in you would think about, but I'm not. I've kind of like, I am a stand-up, but I'm also admitting when I do stand-up now that I'm not in stand-up mode, guys. You're not going to get set-up punch. I'm not giving that. I can't.
You're one of the first people to not do that.
Well, yeah, but I can do jokes. I have jokes. Oh, yeah, I mean, I can.
The beauty of you on stage is not necessarily watching your setup punch. The beauty of you is watching you go to a different place.
Go to a different place or doing crowd work or, riffing or whatever. Yes, I get that. I like doing that. But like I said earlier, like you're a comedian, it's about jokes. At the end of the day, jokes. Because if you have your jokes, you've got your I don't want to get violent, your artillery. You're protected by your jokes. So you get up there and, but after a while, you got to write new jokes. That's why guys, real stand-up comedians, constantly writing. What's next? I am not doing that right now because I was on that oddball tour and I was hosting. It was like putting out energy. And then now it's like I'm promoting. I'm working on the show. I'm thinking about being accepted. I can't write jokes. All I can do is write a to-do list, hike, headshots.
Australia.
UK, Australia. I cannot sit and write jokes right now. I'm not in that mindset. I'm not in that place. There's too much anxiety and tension for me to write jokes right now.
Well, I want to see you on stage be you. I want to see you on stage being you.
Well,
because that is the fun. That is the reason.
Okay.
You're one of you're. That is the reason you are definitely. You're a great comic, but you're also a comics comic. Like comics stay to watch you perform. And it's because I remember Ari and I were at UCB.
Comics love when I get pissed. I don't like it.
No.
I don't want to go into that red zone.
Me and Ari watched you at UCB one night, and we sat in the back, and you were destroying seamlessly and effortlessly. You were not doing material. You were talking to the audience. You were having a conversation. I just remember somehow the thing that makes you hilarious is the attention to detail on something like a bus route through fucking through like Encino.
Well, Look, I grew up here, so I'm lucky in that sense. I have a home field advantage.
It is. We sat in the back, and Ari and I were laughing so hard, and we were like, "God, man, you're really." It's I think in getting away from the joke, sometimes you find your voice a little clearer, and then when you come back to writing jokes, I bet it'll be.
Well, I know I'll get back. I'm going to get. Look. Everyone's got their own unique situation. And I'm in one of those right now. It's unique to me. It's unique specifically. Maybe not unique in general. Unique to me. Unique specifically, but also unique in general.
Yeah.
That being said, and then me being me, everything, my whole life, my baseball, my personal, my current, my professional life. I can't let my guard down yet. I'm not. I won't.
Yeah.
I will not celebrate. I will not thump my chest. I will not. I won't. I won't. You know, I'm holding, and if it after 4 more. What, and you're saying, like, Brody, what are you waiting for? Are you, I mean, guys ask me, are you getting more chicks? Are you banging chicks now? No, I'm not. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do anything different until this particular date. I'm date driven. So I have a date that I'm zeroing in on.
Yeah.
And when I hit that date, then you get a different Brody. And I can tell, and I'm still not sure. I don't know what we're going to, again, it's that tee shot. I'm going to say that date is at tee shot now. And I didn't know it when I started swinging. I had an idea, okay, it's going to be in, sometime in the future. I'm doing a golf swing here, Bert can.
Yeah, I wish it, yeah.
So it's like, it's a tee shot. And I feel like, okay, on that tee, lined up, is January 5th, Sunday night, next, basically a week from when you hear this, or a little more. And I feel, let me get through this with little disruption on Twitter, little disruption in my personal physical condition, a little disruption you arguing on podcasts or, being the way I am. If I can get to January 5th, I will guarantee you.
That's the ball striking date.
That's the ball. That's the ball strike. And then I'll let it go. And I'm confident I'm going to hit a good tee shot.
You're gonna hit a
I'm
great
feeling
tee shot.
better and better as I'm feeling. Now look, I could hit it square, and my alignment's a little off. It could be off. And that's going to cause me, to be not right down the middle. But you know what? In comedy, that's okay.
Yeah, if you push it or pull it a little bit, it's fine. As long as you're in the fairway and you are teed up square and perfect. I am a discernible. I have a very discernible taste in television and what I enjoy watching. I do not watch just anything, and what I enjoy, I get excited for when I see it in my list on the DVR, and enjoy it is in my list. I don't erase the old ones so that Leanne can watch them, and yeah, dude, I think you're gonna crush the ball.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna hit that ball hard.
Yeah,
I can tell. I can just tell. And you say, well, Brody, how can you tell? It's from putting the time in. It's from doing 2,500 audience warm-ups. It's from going to the Comedy Store, staying there to 2:30 in the morning, pushing it with Don Barris and fighting and doing the podcast and learning and getting emails and tweets from people. And it's just all of that. And people are letting me do it. And, I'll say this. Let me just say this. When I think January, I'm looking forward to that date. I really am. Meaning, like, this will be over. Like, push Brody. Over. Technically over.
Yeah.
Nothing to promote, really. Initially. After.
Well, it'll keep re-airing. And it'll keep rerunning.
Okay.
And people will keep watching you. People will keep finding you. And
that I get. I can tell we're wrapping up here. But I because it's out in the universe, I'll wipe my hands of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not there yet. I don't know. My gut is telling me that it's going to be okay. You're going to be good,
great.
Brody.
It's going to be great.
That's what my gut is telling me. My head isn't telling me yet that. My head's all over the place.
Yeah.
My mouth speaking. You can hear in my breath. My head and my mouth, my chest, not my gut. My chest, my mouth, and my head are telling me that We don't know, Brody. There's doubts. But in my gut, I feel like I'm going to nail this tee shot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I think you
And
are.
on that, we'll end. No, I'm kidding.
If you guys have not seen it yet, it is on Sunday nights at 11 o'clock on Comedy
Or
Central.
9, or midnight.
Or midnight, or 9.
I got to laugh more. I mean,
I don't think I've very seldomly seen you laugh.
no, I laugh. I laugh believe me, when I'm not performing.
Yeah.
When I'm performing, it's hard for me to laugh. It really is. Now,
I can fall apart laughing on stage.
I can't.
But I have a very loose approach to the art form.
I could never, honestly, doing stand-up, it's rare that I'll laugh on stage. I just can't. I will never laugh at myself. Rarely.
Yeah.
I might make myself chuckle. I mean, I did on Conan once. Like, it was like, this joke is so cornball. I can't believe it.
I make myself laugh all the time.
I just don't laugh. No way. I just don't. I'm just conditioned not to laugh on stage.
I was laughing yesterday morning.
On stage?
Nope.
No, I'm
having
saying
coffee.
me on stage. Back to you.
Yeah, I was laughing yesterday morning in the front yard. I was smoking a cigar and having a coffee at like 5 in the morning, and I'd gone through some real bad OCD stuff the night before, and I couldn't sleep.
What's your OCD?
I will obsess.
About
obsessed,
what?
About a thought.
Okay. I obsess about my beard.
Really?
You know, your beard is good.
I obsess about my beard.
No, but if I had your beard, see, I would be staring in the mirror at myself, and I could see, like, okay.
I obsess about this line.
I don't obsess about that line.
I go, this line needs to be straight.
You're talking about the line, the back by the ear.
Yep.
Got it.
And then I don't worry about the neck, but I will spend a lot of time making sure that this line,
It's good. The cheekbones.
looks natural.
See, mine looks unnatural. But I can get away with that. I like the Armenian hip hop look.
Yeah.
I can get away with a tight beard. It's almost funny.
Is that DJ Khaled?
Yeah, all those guys. Drake. I like that. It's kind of funny to have.
Yeah, Drake's got it. Yeah, you do have a Drake-esque kind of beard.
Right.
But yeah,
But my beard's effed up. I've got, if you look,
it's so funny.
I have scars from like trying to get my beard perfect.
So the other night Christmas, we were doing something with the girls, and I was trying to mess with them. And I was throwing balls up on the roof. To kind of
Balls on the roof.
simulate reindeer. And so it freaked out Priss, and Priss got really scared. And we've spent a great deal of money to fix Priss.
Fix? What do you mean fix?
She's had 2 dislocated kneecaps, 2 torn ACLs.
All right, that's fixing. How did she get that? Was she a football
overbreeding.
player?
Overbreeding.
Overbreeding?
Yeah. So
I wish I could overbreed.
So
I wouldn't have my. I guess I'd have a dislocated wrist. If I overbreed, it would be a dislocated wrist.
But I thought I heard her. I thought I heard her in messing with the girls.
That hurts.
I didn't touch her, but she was scared, and I couldn't tell if the scared was she hurt herself, she got spooked, or what.
Oh, okay.
So I stayed up all night thinking, God damn it, if I have to put this dog down.
Oh, well.
Because I was fucking around with the girls.
Yeah.
And so I woke up, but then I got myself out of it. I was like, I'm
all right, good.
refused to. But I started giggling because I was listening to, I think, Bing Crosby sing the 12 Days of Christmas. And I'd done that on a radio show, but I had not really sung it. And I just thought to myself, if I had committed to that fucking song with Steve Byrne and we had sung it on Cowhead's show, singing it exactly like they did on that thing, and just really were earnestly singing that song, it would have been fucking awesome. And I was so mad that I didn't. I was giggling at me and Steve earnestly. Look at that squirrel. Me and Steve earnestly singing that song. But anyway, Brody Stevens at Brody Is Me Friend.
Yeah, and that's an homage to Tony and Mr. Lee, my bus boys at Cafe Un Deux Trois in New York on 44th and 6th Street right there in Times Square. Tony, who's Albanian, is Mr. Lee. He may or may not be alive. He was from China, Hong Kong. Brody, you good guy, you me friend. You good guy, you me friend.
So that's where Brody Is Me Friend?
Yeah, it's an homage to those guys.
I've got a lot of answers today. Brody Stevens.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I'll keep that one tight. Brody protects little Steven. And then when I heard Brody Stevens getting back that just didn't, that's not me. I'll go with that right now. Brody Stevens. It's not who I truly am.
Are you Brody?
I'm Brody. Brody's here.
Yeah.
Brody is here. So is Steven.
Is Steven in this room right now?
Yes. Steven is here. And so is Brody.
Who, when you go to bed at night and you have dreams, and you dream, do you remember your dreams?
Sometimes.
Do you dream as Brody or as Steven?
Both. It's back and forth. I mean, I have baseball dreams. I sometimes have comedy dreams.
When you're on stage, you're Brody.
When I'm on stage, I'm Brody. But Stephen Brody Stevens. When I again, it's putting out in the universe. Yeah. Once I put out Stephen Brody Stevens out in the universe, and I kind of revealed that it makes people question, what do you mean your name's not Brody or whatever? I put it out in the universe, I feel so much better about it. So when I hear Brody Stevens now, it doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
Because I have this alter ego guy, Stephen Brody Stevens. And it's out there. And I feel like the name stuff, it used to be a cringer for me. Like when you would say, your name's not Brody? And they would be like disappointed or confused. And it would kind of, I didn't like that feeling. I didn't want you to be disappointed because you realized that's not my name. Like I've been fooling you all.
No, I knew Brody was in there somewhere, but I didn't know. He's
here.
Obsessed with the fact that your name was Steven Stevens. I thought
Steve Stevens is a guitarist for Billy Idol.
Really?
Rebel Yell.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the Rebel Yell, we cry more. Steve Stevens is a great guitarist.
If you were a comic, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't I like to say comedian, but what would I be doing?
Yeah,
what would I want to do, or what would I be doing?
Well, if you hadn't found this,
what would I be doing?
What do you think you'd be doing?
Probably sales, some kind of teaching or instructing, maybe.
You probably would have stayed with coaching baseball.
No, I wasn't into coaching. I can do it. It's not my dream. I wanted to be. I wouldn't mind being a teacher. Like I've always wanted to be I've always wanted to be a teacher. I think, and I'm actually in the state of California. I am a legal registered. In the state of California, I'm legally registered as a. I'm legally registered in the state of California. Like I built this up as a substitute teacher.
Can I tell you what I would love to see for season 2 if you do a season 2 of Enjoy It? No, I want you to coach a girls softball team.
Ugh. Why would I be into that? I'd rather teach kids.
You wouldn't. Well, what about coaching a youth baseball team?
I've been there and I've done that.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
I worked at a baseball camp. It's going on right now, a winter baseball camp with my friend who's a major league coach, Michael Borzello. And I would work this camp, and I'm good with kids. I've done all that. It's just right. I can't do it right now. And I think it's out of my system, the Little League coaching. Yeah. Maybe I'll come back to that when I have a child, hopefully. Gosh willing. God willing. I'm on the Tom Arnold time scale.
Yeah.
Tom Arnold had a kid when he was 15.
Tom Arnold was one of the nicest guys. I ran into him at an airport. He was so fucking nice.
Tom Arnold, I worked with Tom since 2001. I worked with him at Best Damn Sports Show, basically. He was there every show, 1,000 shows with Tom Arnold. And so I was around him every day. And he brought it every day, never took a day off on the show, brought the energy, and always was cool with me, liked joke with me. We
brought you on the Ed McMahon roast.
Yeah, I did the Ed. He brought me in for that. And
you killed on that roast. Is that still online?
Somewhere, yeah, maybe.
I remember seeing that.
James Cameron, Ed McMahon.
With Eddie Ift. Eddie and Ift and I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe on the road. I can't. Maybe it wasn't Eddie. Maybe it was Gary Goldman. But we watched it and we were like, God damn, you murdered.
I did okay. I did. Thank you. But Tom really he's a good guy, and he's funny.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone ever said he's not funny. So Tom was funny, and he's also a good guy, flawed. He always talked about that, and I just learned from him. Be nice. Sometimes I would get worked up. Be nice. Put that in my head. And, Tom's like the Pope of Hollywood. Everyone loves Tom Arnold. I was around that. I saw it. I saw I felt his energy. I didn't have to hang out with him. I didn't have to go motorcycle bike riding with him with Arnold Schwarzenegger or go to some. Tom has friends in high places.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want about Arnold, but it'd still be cool to hang out with him. So I didn't have to tag along with Tom to get that experience. I picked up that energy. Tom was good enough.
Have you talked to him since your show's been airing?
No. He tweeted something.
Oh, that was nice.
So, always been good with me. Joked around with me. Would always, every day we had our little banter at Best Damn Sports Show. So my thing, I think about, you just got to soak it in. You got to listen. Freshmen are to be seen, not heard. Just listen, soak it in, Oh, it's always about you. Guys, I've watched a lot. I've listened a lot. And that's how you do it, friend, from your friends, successful friends. And then sometimes you're friends with people who aren't successful, and you're still their friend. You're still friends with them, hopefully, but you also learn from them. You go, well, you see why this guy is in that position, and you see that guy's in that position. That guy's happy. This guy seems unhappy, not as happy, wants to be happier. I've been there where he's at, and I've kind of tasted that, and I'm saying, you can get here. You can go to that other place. So, I forget where that came from. Again, one of my thoughts. One of my crazy thoughts. But I just try to be, be nice. Be nice is a big one. I forget what else.
Well, I'm supposed to go hang out with my kids.
Forget them. Let's keep going. 5 hours.
Well,
I know we went a lot.
This has been a great podcast, Brody.
I got to take a leak so bad.
I'll show you to the secret potty.
I'll just pee on the Christmas tree in front of your kids. I'm a legalized substitute teacher. I'm a legalized registered substitute teacher.
His show, enjoy it. Anything else you want to plug?
No, that's it. I want to say thank you to everybody who's listening, who's been following me around on this international promotional tour.
Yes.
And nothing else I really want to plug. I just want to get through these basically by January 5th. Check on me. Say,
okay.
Are you doing okay?
January 5th.
Actually probably January 6th.
Yeah.
How about that?
6th. Okay.
January 6th. I'll know. Let's say January 6th.
January 6th.
Check on me. And if things are going well, which my gut, I feel like I'll be in a good place. It'll be a good day.
Reminder into my phone to give you a call on January 6th.
And I'll probably I'll take that week as a celebration week. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm going to be working. I'm scheduled to work, actually.
Where you at?
Midnight show, Chris Hardwick.
Oh, I had a dream about Chris Hardwick last night.
Connection.
I had a weird dream about Chris Hardwick. Let's see.
Did you push it to the limit with Chris?
No, he wanted to do I'll be at the BCS championship game.
Oh, that's awesome. I got to take a leak so bad. I want to ask you a question. Why don't you come on my podcast?
Brody, I'd love to. I would love to.
All right, let's take a break, and then I have got a memory card. So you got a Zoom? I got a memory card.
I can't do it.
We'll flip around. Why not?
I can't do it now. I was supposed to do shit with my family. This is my one-time home. I'm calling you January 6th. Brody, I absolutely love you. I think you're such a great dude.
Thanks,
I'm so glad you're in such a great place.
You've always been my a good energy. You are a good guy. You're better than a good guy. I'm happy for your success.
I'm happy for yours.
I mean, I'm pretty amazed that. I'm not amazed. See, that's my luck moment. Well, I'm amazed you're doing well. I think it's pretty cool that your shows that you're doing, you get to travel around, and I know that's making you a better person, a better father, and I know you're a good father to your kids. I've been to this house, so I give it up to the fathers out there because that is a real commitment, and that's just a fact. I would like to hopefully one day be a father and hopefully have the skills to be a good father. Anybody can be a father, but to be a good father, I hope to be able to do that. And I think your life loans itself to being a good father. Florida State, I'm sure you had a good father. You did. I know you had that big article in Rolling Stone, and you hustled. I saw you in New York. I remember you in those rooms. I knew you didn't belong there. I saw that. You were that guy. And then you found your lane. You found it. So you're doing it, and I see you out there. I don't watch a lot of stuff. And that's another thing in closing that I hope to be able to do. I watch stuff, my mind, I do pick up stuff. I'm aware of things, but to sit there and watch a movie, to sit down and listen to a podcast, to sit there and watch a TV show when I'm not at my mom's watching The Mentalist or The Good Wife. I want to get back to that. I want to say, I want to be not forced, but I want to watch stuff. I want to see movies. I want to say, hey, good job. I want to get out of my head.
Yeah.
And be able to be giving to others. Not even, but maybe specifically to send somebody a note. Hey, good job. I liked you on that. I haven't done that for years. It's just not in me. I haven't seen it. So many popular television shows or things in my friends' lives that I should have been made the effort to be more present.
Yeah.
With a card or playing the game with a gift or somebody getting married, a note. I didn't do that. I want to do that.
Well, I think after all this craziness slows down, I think it'll be probably a little...
Well, crazy slowing down in my head.
Yeah.
I'm talking, not only have I not done it, I mean, for the last year, I've done nothing in terms of helping somebody specifically, even myself. I've gotten 2 speeding tickets. I didn't go to traffic school. I paid them. I paid my tickets.
Yeah.
But I didn't do online traffic school. You don't think that bothers me? It bothers me. I have 2 points on my record. But I did that, and then my insurance rate, they really do go up, people. If you don't pay your speeding, if you don't go to driving school online, it's simple. I was so into this show. I'm not accepting messages. I'm not doing this. I'm not shopping. Because if this show works, this is not my avatar, but this is my land of the lost. This is my opening into another world. So let me get through that, and then we all win. That's look at my show. I've got my friends on the show.
Yeah.
I'm not putting them on because they're my friends.
Sandy Dantos was on.
Sandy Danto, Don Barris, Josh Wolf is on. People in my lives, Tom Arnold. I can go on. And I didn't put them on, they're my friends, I'm going to get them in. I put them on because that's just what I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I know my thoughts, I get on a roll and I kind of flail after that, but I just want to enjoy things. I hate to say, I want to enjoy it. I want to, be able to just be more, I want to participate more in society, that I can take a deep breath now.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, that's out there. Okay, good. Let's go see a movie. I have nothing to prove. I'm not doing a podcast to gain fans. I'm not to prove to you. Now I'm not saying I proved it, but I have some form of validation. There's some little bit of validation.
Validated by all comics.
Comics, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but the fans find who we like. The good comics rise to the top, and good comics, Good comics know good comics. I have always said.
I have nothing, honestly, nothing but love for almost every comedian. I have not had one. I mean, I can think of a few times, like less than 5, where comedians have been jerks to me.
Yeah.
And they probably had a right to be that way. They had a right to be that way. They didn't have. That's all. It wasn't even bad.
Yeah.
Less than 5 comedians. So, like I said, I wish I was supportive. Verbally, a note, not just a tweet. I don't even do that.
Yeah.
To say, hey, nice job. I saw you on that. Because you know what? I'm actually not seeing them on it. Number one, because I'm so in my head, I'm not doing it. But it's also, hey, you got married. I went to the wedding. You're registered. I should get you a gift. You had a kid. I should see your baby. I have friends that have had kids now for 2 or 3 years that I haven't seen. That I should. It's kind of like shows who I was. Like, oh, I'm seeing you all the time. Why was I going there? Oh, maybe because he was selling me pot. I was hanging out, but we became friends through pot and other things. And then to not stop that down, that stuff, bothers me a little bit. So we're all hard on ourselves. You're hard on yourself. I'm hard on myself. It's learning, and we're lucky that we have these podcasts because I know there's people out there that are listening and learning and appreciating what we're talking about today. Thank you.
All right. The show's enjoyed.
I'm putting down the mic.
I love you, Jim Brody. I think you're great. Thank you for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.